Way! Hello, viewer. It is Sunday, February the 12th, 2023. It's Super Bowl day. Yay! I am Mr. Brown. I trust you are all doing very well today. On this evening stream / podcast, we are discussing the goings on in pop culture and, more importantly, on the social media. But before we begin, you can find us here on the YouTube, or if you prefer your entertainment in the podcast form, we are also on Spotify. The links are in the description. So if you've not nodded off, as I always say, lots to get through. Shall we get the guest out? Of course we should. First up, I feel a little bit out of kilter because we're 2 hours early, but never mind. First up, talent is the name, as is the game. It is the beautiful Problem Being.
Hello.
Hello there.
Nice. Very kind of you to say. Completely bonkers, but that's very kind anyway. How are you?
I'm not too bad. A little bit... we're quite early, aren't we?
We are. The coffee hasn't sunk in yet.
My God, I might even get some sleep tonight. Jeez.
That's probably not going to happen.
I may go to bed at a reasonable time. Who would have thought?
Rubbish. It's never going to happen. Hello, everyone. Hello, chat.
Are you up to anything of interest, my friend?
Just the usual insanity
Twittering.
of Twitter. Yeah. And I've got a few projects on the boil that I need to crack on with. I've now bought an external hard drive.
Oh!
I can transfer files properly now, so I'm happy.
And more importantly, back up important files.
Yeah. That's it.
So are you well, Lee?
Remember to
Good
back
to have
up
you on,
people.
mate. Should we get the
Likewise,
next body
thank you
on?
for having me. No.
Should we get...
Yes.
No. Nah, fuck him. Okay. Next, he is the YouTube equivalent of James Cameron. I'll start again. This is important. I'll start again. He is the YouTube equivalent of James Cameron. Just ask those blue people. It's the Lord, everybody. The little platoon.
So what you're saying is that I haven't had talent since 1989. Charming.
That was
Thank
before
for
you were born.
Yeah, it is actually before I was born, so I've never had talent.
So there's a flaw in your logic.
A slight flaw in my logic, yes. But then that's fitting because apparently I'm the equivalent of James Cameron.
You're into the long duration of something.
Yeah, Avatar
With
video
blue people as
is,
well.
is done. The Blue People Smurf video. It's finally done. Started before Christmas. It's now finished. My average is 20 minutes of footage in 6 hours. I
Here we
did
go.
50 minutes of footage last night, so I'm completely dead now, and it's way too early for me to be awake. So I'm not going to be much good.
I know,
on the
it's
stream,
just
but-
this just weird, isn't it? 8:30.
Yeah, it's very strange. But apparently
This is
there's
first thing in the morning for you, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Apparently there's some non-sporting event happening over in America. There's a big ad break or something happening. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
We
like
make
a
accommodations.
2-hour ad break, isn't it? Commercial break.
Yes.
So everything's well with you, my friend.
Apart from being dead tired, otherwise all good. Yes.
It will all be worth. It's going out tomorrow, yes.
Touch wood, unless they decide to try and copyright strike it overnight, but hopefully they won't. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow, and then I will not be touching Blue People again for however many years it is until the next one.
It will all be worth it in the end.
We'll see.
Shall we get the next body out?
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, it does. Okay, next, talking about... my teeth are not working tonight. Next, talking about blue people.
That's the age.
It is. It's the purveyor of meh entertainment. You know it is, folks. It is the movie cynic.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah, you can't call me the purveyor of meh when you guys all like soccer. So,
That's football,
anyway.
mate.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just us and the rest of the world. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forget you Americans invented the English language. Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Yes, we did. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. So, everything good with you, Matthew?
No, everything is great. If Platoon's tired, I can carry it. I am energized. I pre-gamed for the Super Bowl. I'm ready to go.
Oh, God, I'm going to go on mute and bugger off then. I'll see you.
No! How's the channel going, friend?
The channel's going good. I haven't made a video in weeks, so I've been watching too many North Korea documentaries, horror films to recommend to you guys, and generally just not working on YouTube. But I will soon, I swear.
I thought you was going to say I've been watching erotic films, if you know what I mean. But that's my dirty mind.
You need a girlfriend, Brown.
I need someone.
Or a boyfriend, whatever suits you.
Mind you, North Korean documentaries, I assume, have lots of sort of BDSM stuff in them. That's basically a formalized punishment there.
Will Sam
it's been
Smith be
fascinating.
moving to North Korea?
I
hope so.
We should send him there.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe we could do a GoFundMe. Sam Smith to North Korea. I'm sure people are...
They'll take him in.
Yeah.
They'll love him.
Okay. Any videos on the horizon?
Let's see. I'm gonna do a Velma finale video review Ant-Man, and I have to do a part 2 of my kind of comic book movies are in trouble series. So hopefully three videos in the next couple of weeks. So
Okay. Great to have you back, my friend. Shall we get the next body out?
let's do it.
Okay. And last but by no means least, he is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. He is the great mega geek himself. It is Rebecca Gold. Hello there.
Hello.
All right, mate.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Fancy seeing
fine.
you here.
Yeah, no, fancy seeing all you guys there as well. Jeez. A lot of people. Well, we're missing Matt Cat, so. Was it Matt Cat? Matt 8, whoever his name is. We're missing him. He should come back on.
Matty, we need you, mate. He's doing a Super Bowl family party.
Oh, is he? Oh, that explains that then. Okay. It's a big thing then, the Super Bowl in America?
It's a very it should be a holiday for us. Like
Right.
because I don't know how many people actually end up taking the following day off anyway, but it's
7, apparently.
it's like an immense number. It's a massive percentage.
Is Sam
Lot-
Smith the halftime act? Or...
I have no idea. I don't give a shit about the halftime show. Like, I'm legitimately a football fan. I don't care about any halftime show.
A lot of movie fans watch it because for the trailers, isn't it? Trailers of movies. and
Yeah, the
stuff.
trailers are pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of people used to watch it for the commercials, but they released the commercials that will be on the Super Bowl, like on the internet early, so
Is
it
there
doesn't
anything
even matter
Wow.
anymore.
dropping tonight, do we know?
I know a new Flash trailer is. I think someone
Oh,
just
yes.
mentioned in the
Yes,
chat.
yes.
Oh, there's a couple trailers.
Rihanna is
Picard.
playing.
Who gives a
Rihanna's
shit?
huge.
Oh, God.
That like, apparently she hasn't played for many years, and
Well, she's
the
not as
world
huge as
thanked her for
Lizzo.
that. No, she's not. No. Not many
Rihanna's
people are.
playing? Is she quarterback or something?
I think she is. Yeah, or
Yeah,
she's like
for the Eagles.
I don't know what the positions in American football are. She's
I hope it
on
doesn't
her back.
rain. I hope it
Oh,
doesn't
She's
rain
a
for me,
fullback.
Umbrella, Ella.
Fullback. American football. We call it American football over here. You guys call it football.
Yeah, we don't call it American soccer. That's a thinking man's joke, by the way.
Well, being old-fashioned and quite sensible, we don't call something football which doesn't predominantly use the foot to move the ball. Just seems logical to
Arm
me.
But
ball.
don't forget, they invented the language, though, so we're at fault.
Yeah, and we use inches. So
Out
Good
inches.
for
Out-
you.
Alright.
Well, you don't. You use millimeters, but Americans generally use inches. That was a penis joke. I apologize.
that was a wiener joke, guys.
Wah. Okay, so great to have you on, boys, on 10 minutes. Hello, chats. We can
It
see
took
you.
10 minutes to get a penis joke in.
Yes.
Franco
Great.
Walker. It's tight end.
Tight
I like
end.
that. Nice.
It's
Maybe.
another penis joke.
What
No,
tight end?
we're speaking in Sam
Rihanna's
Smith later,
position.
so there will be more penises. Anyway, okay. So, great to have you on, boys. Episode 119, End of Week Musings, Sunday, February 12th, 2023, 2 days before Valentine's Day. The happiest day of the year for everybody who's single.
Yeah.
If you have made it this far and you are enjoying this content, and why wouldn't you be, please like, share, and subscribe. Every single click will help this channel grow, and it needs to grow. Please, pretty please. Okay, so first up, The Last of Us. I do believe it was it a double episode this week because of the Super Bowl? Did the second one go out on Friday? Did anybody see?
I have a feeling it came out Saturday.
Or was it Saturday?
I think.
Anybody up to date with these yet?
I've not seen 5 yet. I saw 4, and
That'd be last
4
week,
sort
yeah.
of reverted to the mean of the 1 and 2, which meant that I started by watching it and ended up by not watching it because it lost my attention. So I don't know.
A lot of people say it's really good, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So I've just been watching old shows because I find them more entertaining than the new stuff. So maybe I'll catch up with it soon, I guess.
I'm kind of getting
Yeah, I only saw episode 4.
feeling it's going to be next week then we discuss the double episode, isn't it? So
I'm under a lot of pressure to watch new shows now. So because I'm on other streams as well. And they're like, you got to watch this here and you got to watch that. And I'm like, do I have to? I'd rather watch The Incredible Hulk. Thank you very much. But there you go.
I think Paul Chato said episode 4. It is episode 4, isn't it? Was good.
5, I thought he said. I saw him on
Was
Twitter
it
say that
5?
5 was good. I think we're up to 5.
Where was he now anyway?
Apparently he's got a great video out at the moment. So
Has
that
he?
got up today. So
He's
okay,
quite
so-
funny.
He is, yeah. Okay,
He is
so
great.
I feel we'll talk about this a little bit more next week because obviously nobody's had a chance to watch it.
No. Oh god.
Is this still going? I know it is, but that's a rhetorical question. Got
Didn't
it?
it finish
Yeah,
this
it
week?
ended now. Yeah, it just ended finally.
It's
Anybody
done.
see it?
No.
That's Velma, by the way. Is
I
anybody still
am-
watching it?
I'll binge it. I only watched the first 2 and did a review of that, and
Yeah.
I'll do a final video. I'll just binge these, but I don't even think I have to. It's because I already know I just kind of want to write about the situation of Velma because, like, objectively, everyone knows it's a piece of shit. So
Nobody's watched this. Then is what we're saying. You're gonna binge it.
I'm also binging it for a video next week, and then I'll be
Who
done.
wants to watch it?
Shall I drop a big spoiler then, folks?
I've seen clips. If this is about her twerking over the
Here we
corpse
go.
of Fred's mum, yeah, there we go.
yeah, I saw
we're,
that.
We're a little bit out of order, but we'll go for it. This is from Desperoo. This is Velma, covered in blood, twerking over the corpse of
Do you think
Fred's
that
mum.
YouTube would be upset if I used that as a thumbnail?
I think YouTube is out to get people now, so I wouldn't advise it. Tell you the truth.
As it looks like Shaggy's been speared in the back of the head.
What the?
This just looks so hard to like it's trying to be American Dad or something. It's just really try hard pick me vibes.
Yeah, I related it to Family Guy comedy, but done horribly, and I don't even find Family Guy funny. So this show's a piece of shit.
At its
Yep.
moments.
Just say what you mean.
Here you go,
mate.
Franco.
I think there's another bit as
I'm
well where
sorry,
like that they're all
Shaggy.
chained in a basement together, and Velma lectures Fred about white privilege. I think I've seen
Yeah,
that
I
clip
saw
as
that
well.
bit,
It's
yeah.
more of the same, really. I'm just sort of. I've started it, and so I sort of feel obligated to finish.
It's like Catwoman talking to Batman about white privilege, isn't it? That kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go.
Is this, we've asked this question before, obviously we're at the end of the series. Is this a
Thank God.
psyop?
Is this a psyop? No. None of the people writing this have the talent to be
I've got
a psyop.
intelligence.
Yeah. If it relies on people in studios having sort of the creative ability to trick people, it's just nonsense. They have no creative ability. This is just what they do. This is quite honest attempt at writing, which reveals quite honest things about some very nasty people involved in it. But I'm not even sure if it's the most sort of message, in terms of message, the most objectionable thing on at the moment. There's that, what's that? Is it the Pride family, the Proud family? Because there's been clips of that going around as well, which is another American cartoon, which is on Disney, which is just, because it isn't a comedy, it doesn't feel obliged to distract itself from its messaging. It is all messaging. And so it's basically preaching to kids about how slavery is the origin of capitalism and Lincoln never freed the slaves and America is built by slaves and actually reparations are good. And it just says all of this completely on the nose in the form of some kind of spoken word poetry. And it's intended for kids. So yay. I've not even touched that one yet because
it's critical race theory disguised as a cartoon.
Folks.
Yeah.
Well, you say disguised as a cartoon. I'm not even sure it's very well.
Well, right, yeah, I don't. No, it's just implemented
Loud.
through a cartoon. Control my microphone, please.
Don't shout.
You fascist.
He's not shouting.
I'm a bigot.
His mic is just loud.
You are.
No, he's been away for a few weeks, so he's quite excited to be back. And who could blame him?
It's true.
I know there's a fan-made Scooby-Doo on YouTube, and it uses real people and a real dog, as if Scooby-Doo was real. Do you know what I mean? So the dog doesn't talk; it's a real dog. And have you ever seen that one? That's on YouTube.
No.
It's quite well done, actually. Doesn't have any of the crap that's in this though. So
Does somebody think this is funny somewhere
no one thinks it's funny
on this planet?
I'd be pretty surprised if somebody thought this was funny.
I think Tim said that he lives with someone who watches the show.
Yeah.
That's
here we go.
rough.
Here we go. Tim, I like to say this. Hannibal. I live with somebody who watches the show. It's not the writer,
Yeah,
is
you
it?
might want
What
to
do they think of
seek
it,
a new
though?
housemate. Yeah.
Well,
I
that.
think, Tim, I think you should move, mate.
Or a divorce.
Move.
Yeah,
Move
it'd be
or
just
kick them out.
easier. Yeah, or a divorce. I'm speechless.
Get new friends. Better friends.
Get new friends.
Watching Scooby-Doo when I was a child was just fun. It's what kids used to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's
not me, is
intended for
it?
the same audience. I did have someone in my comment section on my last video saying, I'm sorry, I can't watch any more of a person criticizing something that's made for children. I was like, do you really think Velma's made for children? Have you seen this show? What are you talking about? But I don't know if there is anyone on the planet who finds it funny, but it's not supposed to be funny necessarily, because comedy sort of moved away from the idea that what you're supposed to do is make people laugh. Most modern comedy writers, certainly modern comedy from a certain political direction, it's not about making people laugh. It's about getting people to clap and nod because it's all messaging. It's the Stephen Colbert
it's the
thing.
social commentary then.
Basically, yeah, it's the Stephen Colbert thing. Bill Maher does it to an extent as well, although he's a little bit more based than the others.
Yeah.
Basically, any American late-night talk show host does it. Most American comedies these days do it, and I think quite a lot of British comedies are increasingly doing it as well. What you're doing is you're saying something very political in a relatively high-minded, slightly chirpy way, and ideally what you want is the audience to titter maybe once, but then to clap
Titter,
and
yes.
nod and smile and earnestly agree with the thing that you're telling them, because you're preaching to them. You're
So
not
it's
actually trying to make them laugh.
It's made for seals. It's made for seals.
Yes.
They're literally talking about the BBC there.
Yes.
All their shows. Yeah.
Oh God! This evening I briefly watched Antiques Roadshow, and we were being lectured to about the male gaze. I thought, what?
I had Match of the Day on earlier. For Americans, Match of the Day is a program that rounds up an actual sport. And they broke from the middle of Match of the Day, which is just supposed to be, this is what happened in the football today, here are the goals that were scored.
Yeah.
They had to go off to Southampton's football academy, where there's an outreach program by a feminist group teaching primary school kids about gender stereotypes. And the woman overtly said during this little snippet, it's really important that we get to these children while they're young so we can teach them, so the ideas stay in their heads from the early age. I was like, and what are these ideas? Well, did you know that women can be footballers and managers too? Why is it that if you ask a primary school boy to draw a footballer, he always draws a man? Is that indicative of some inbuilt sexist stereotype that he's got going on? Well, we have to expunge that as quickly as possible. It's like, I want to watch football. I don't want this. And also, leave the fucking kids alone.
Yeah, they'll come to their own
Hey,
conclusions.
teacher, leave those kids alone.
They'll come to their own conclusions. Just leave them alone, and just let them be who
Pink
they want to
Floyd.
be at the end of the day.
Well,
So.
if you look at Sweden, they have one of the most egalitarian societies in Europe.
Speak up, Robbie.
And is it quiet?
Yes.
But yeah, they have one of the most egalitarian societies in Europe, and yet when they were given laws to equalize, equity and all this kind of stuff, women still tended towards nursing roles, and men still tended towards
Traditional
oil rigging or
roles.
whatever. So yeah, traditional roles. So they were given the choice through law to be able to do
They
these
chose.
diverse
Well,
jobs, but they choose not to. So
It's really
It's really
funny
young.
how they always argue about women not getting jobs in the industry or football, whatever, but they don't argue about women being bricklayers or anything like that, or
Yeah, it's
climbing
double
the
standards,
trees
mate.
or anything. Yeah, it's just
Um,
it's ridiculous.
Franco
Totally
Walker
ridiculous.
in the chat says, "Is it the male gaze or the male gaze?"
It's both, I think.
I don't think women are typically victimized by the male gaze.
They're not. They like
former.
it. Most women
So-
like men looking at them because it means that they're attractive and it's a compliment.
Velma doesn't.
and if it's gay
when-
males,
yeah.
then they feel safer.
Yeah, but if obviously if you're staring and it's unnerving, of course that's just your freak. But mostly, if you see a pretty woman on a tube or something, like you glance at them, and if they catch your eye, they don't have a go at you, as far as I can tell. Well, I did.
Is
a
it
couple
just
of days
the?
ago.
Is it because the
So-
ugly ones are complaining? Is that what we're saying?
No,
Well,
it's just I don't know. It's
It
just
is
this
partly that. I
crazy
mean,
people.
there is an element of social inequity involved, and you see that in Velma as well. Velma spends all of her time when she's not shitting on Fred for being a white guy with a tiny dick. She's usually shitting on the attractive, popular girls because she's not very attractive. And all you see from campaigns to do away with, say, like bikini adverts on the London Underground, for example, most of the people advocating for changing advertising standards are basically fat women, because unfortunately attractiveness is not equally spread around among the human society, and women in particular are very much sort of pro-social in behavior and much more socially exclusionary when they are not prized by the society in which they live. So there is an element of that, I think, which comes in,
But
and
you're
you
also
see that in
forgetting
Mindy
about-
Kaling's humor.
You also forget about the trans people. They definitely want to wipe women off the face of the earth. And so a lot of them are in charge of entertainment and advertisement as well. So that's why we're getting a slew of bollocks advertising stuff.
Well,
so,
not
yeah.
their bollocks.
It's
anyway.
well, it might be actually.
Not their bollocks. Anyway, okay, shall we? Obviously, Velma is a hot topic.
Yeah, it's a topic, all right.
It is a topic.
Yeah.
My God, can we follow that? Christ. Anyway, we want to anyway. Moving on.
Moving on.
Oh,
Oh,
it's me.
the movie cynic.
Are you going to give us something?
That's
Give us something good, mate. Give us something good. Come on.
Well, no, he's
Come
the
on.
purveyor of meh, so probably not. At the movie cynic.
If this is the Batman, I'm going away.
Okay, so young blue boy Matthew person type American person, sir. What have you got in your a bag of tricks for the viewers?
This is not a pretentious movie like last week or the
What?
week before, rather. This is
God
a
damn it.
slasher movie, and it's called it's called Terrifier.
Shit.
I'm scared already.
Is it that one?
Yeah, it is.
Ooh,
So
Marilyn
this is a
Jeez.
this movie. All I can tell you guys
Yowza.
is it is insane. So it was made on a $35,000 budget, and these guys are fans of, the horror genre, obviously, but very specifically the slasher genre. And if you're a fan, it's very niche, and like we all know, it's objectively terrible. So that's not. But there's still a lot to enjoy about it, and there are certain tropes and cliches you have to follow. And this movie truly honors the slasher genre, but the person who does the directing also does the makeup effects, and
Wow.
it has some of the most
Not Ian, is it?
no, but it has some of the most brutal and incredible gore I've ever seen in a horror movie. So again, this is very niche, but it is like stomach churning, and it's really impressive on a visceral, disgusting level. But that's if you're a slasher fan, that's kind of what you're.
Is it all
you know.
real, not CGI?
Yeah, because it was only made on it was $35,000
I've
for
been
the
down the
entire thing.
butchers.
Cool.
But no, there's it really honors like the genre and pays homage, and you can tell that it was made by fans, and it was made by Bloody Disgusting, which is, if you're a horror fan, you know that website. It's been around since like the internet started, and it was run by fans, and they produced this movie, and you can just tell, and it's a real testament to indie filmmaking and the fact that, like, you know, you can go to school for it, but also there are Tarantinos out there who didn't go to film school and are just film fans and can really make a banger if
Well,
they
yeah,
are given a
make
budget. So.
Make a banger.
American Lingo.
What did you say? What year it was made in, Matthew?
So this was made in 2016, and the sequel,
okay.
Terrifier 2, just came out last year. And I watched that with this one, but I didn't want to recommend both back to back. But that one was also made for like practically nothing, and it upped the ante more than anything. I heard people were like vomiting in the theater in that one, and I can see why. It has the most, like, one of the most brutal things I've ever seen in a horror movie ever. But start with this one. I actually think the first one's better. And I don't even know if there are any horror fans in the chat, but
I think
this
so.
movie's
There you go.
awesome. So
Side of Feet, back to the video nasties level. Great film, though.
Did not know that Sam Smith was in this. Bloody hell. Looks a bit different there. Jesus Christ.
He looks like Marilyn Manson.
It's Madonna, isn't it?
the villain's name is Art the Clown, and it's a really simple story. He's a serial killer and he kills people.
Is that it?
That is it.
Keep it simple.
But it's, yeah, keep it
where
simple.
can people see this?
It is streaming, I think, on
Hulu?
No, not
Disney?
Hulu. Nope, not that one either. There's a horror streaming network. It slips my mind. That's
BBC.
free.
Is it Horror Channel? It's not the Horror Channel, is it?
No, but you can
iPlayer.
buy it anywhere. It's like a $5 purchase on any streaming. It's worth $5. So.
Ah, okay. I might give it a shot.
Or you can always torrent and be naughty.
Or is... Oh, Sail the Seven Seas. Yeah.
So your recommendation is Terrifier from, you say 2016?
2016. Yep.
Complete fan film. So okay, sounds great. Okay, shall we move on?
Let's do it.
This is the highlight. This is what everybody's been waiting for, folks.
Move along. Move along. Oh, jeez.
The Lord's mother, everybody.
Uh,
Or is it sister?
looks like the sister.
Yes.
Transistor.
Lord Courts, yes.
This is where Ben goes, what the hell am I going to be talking about now?
No, he's going, why,
It's a
he's
surprise every week.
Going, why me?
Yeah, exactly.
Lord Court's news round. I'll get the theme tune at some point. At the Little Platoon. Let's see what we've got first. Here we go. Look. The Lord Sexy Mum.
Sexy mum.
Moving on.
Oh, you've been playing that, haven't you?
Okay, so this was quite big this week, wasn't it? This game dropping, wasn't it, Lord?
Much to a few people's chagrin.
Great cover.
Yeah,
What a
our
cover
joy.
that is.
there were quite a lot of
Brilliant design.
people just streaming on YouTube playing the game. Just
I think it broke Twitch's record for
Yeah.
concurrent live
Yeah.
streams. There's like more than 1 million people watching it at any one
Yeah.
time, which shows that the boycott movement was incredibly successful. If those people would like to start boycotting my channel, I would appreciate the growth. So so please do. But it's all right. I mean, no, I streamed it. I actually streamed it for like 5 hours the other night on
I
the
saw that.
day.
I watched
watched a
it
bit.
all. I watched
Jesus.
all of it. I thought it was.
I didn't watch all of
I
it.
did.
I watched a bit.
I got the audio levels
It was
right
fantastic.
about 2 hours in. But if I stream it again, at least
It was
I've
fun.
saved the presets, so it should be good. But,
I did watch some of it.
very
I sent that
enjoyable.
super chat to make sure that it
turn
was
it
an
off, yeah.
actual live stream and you weren't.
Here you go,
some-
Theodore
murdering somebody.
Yes.
Pinnock fired at 1.3 concurrent viewers across Twitch.
That is the one, yeah.
Here you go, quickly before Chato just apparently released a great video about this. Apparently,
I love the cover. though.
Franco,
Look at
do you want
that.
to put the link in
So
the
well
chat, mate?
So well painted. It looks so great.
it's great.
It's
isn't
a
it?
lovely cover.
Fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
And that sort of, it fits the game really. I mean, the game it looks lovely for the most part. There's not that many rough edges about the aesthetic. But it's like the books in the sense that there's a huge number of technical flaws in it, and the writing actually isn't very good. But the world it's depicting, the world it invites you into, is fittingly magical. And so you find yourself, well, I found myself anyway, playing it and getting incredibly frustrated whenever I actually had to do anything to do with the plot, or whenever anybody's tried to speak to me because the voice acting is comically bad. But when left to your own devices...
The funniest thing I thought, sorry, I just had to interject because I thought one of the
Talking
funniest
over
bits when
somebody,
you
were
were
you?
playing this. Yeah, well, it's my turn, okay.
Okay.
Knock it off. It was when you were doing the swimming out in the lake, and you were like, "How do I dive to get the thing?" And you were, I've literally clicked all the buttons. And it was just so simple. All you had to do was go to find the little glowy little lights. And that was it.
It's one of those cases where you expect, because the game's got puzzles in it. I mean, all Harry Potter games have always had puzzles in them. It's just that they aren't really puzzles because they are so bafflingly easy that I actually lost time trying to work something out when all I had to do was press square, which is what you have to do to solve every puzzle in the game. So yeah, that was fun.
Was
funny.
Was that black kid with the jerry curl in it?
Was he in there?
Yeah,
I think
was
he
in
is.
there?
Yeah. It has got quite It's got quite a diverse cast.
What was his name? Did we know?
I don't remember any
Black
of the
kid.
people in it. Just Black
Gladstone.
Kid.
Token.
Winston.
Token, yeah.
It's a very diverse game. Like you can make most of it make sense in the sense that obviously it is set in the 1800s, so you've got the British Empire, and Hogwarts would be the wizarding school for most of Europe, and by extension the British Empire, I would assume. So it makes sense that you get people from India and Africa there. It does also have a trans bartender, which makes somewhat less sense.
So there was.
Why aren't they
trans person
cancelled?
in it.
Rebecca Root. Why isn't Rebecca Root cancelled then? Because
There's also
transphobia.
there's also an old Scottish lesbian
Jimmy
witch.
Cranky.
Possibly. Nicola Sturgeon is the wife being referred to. Anybody who knows anything about Scotland in the 1800s would know it's not the most hospitable place for lesbianism. Not least because all the women look like men. But it's... The trans thing, I think we talked about this ages ago, that it doesn't make a huge amount of sense. In a world in which you've got magic, and in a game in which you have character creators, you can literally wish yourself into any role you choose to inhabit.
And what trans
what's
people
the point
existed in
exactly?
the 1800s?
Well, that's another question, which it sort of takes you away from discussion of the game eventually if you start trying to say, did trans people exist before we had a word for them? On the game itself, it has a lot to recommend. It has a lot to not recommend it. I just think all of the vociferous praise is unjustified, but it's more justified than all the vociferous hatred. It's a solid game. It's like a 5 or a 6. When it lets you play the game, when it's hand-holding you, and when the characters are talking to you, not very good at all. That's probably like 2 or 3.
How much do modern video games cost?
Lots.
70.
70
70 American, yeah.
Lord, excuse me for being rude, how much did you pay for this game?
I got the one with pre-order early access, so probably about 70 quid, I think.
He got it from Indonesia. That's where he got it from.
Yeah.
He always goes from Indonesia.
If you pay like £230, you get the whole deluxe bonus thing with boxes and props, and so all the people who've been trying to boycott the game got very angry that the boycott wasn't successful. So lots of them bought this incredibly expensive package and then filmed themselves smashing all of the contents. Like, I've just owned J.K. Rowling by giving her lots of money to destroy something I paid for. Top work.
Were they also cutting their nose off to spite their face at the same time?
I mean, I sort of...
Well, they're
cut
cutting lots
something
of things off
Um,
to spite something,
this-
yeah.
And then the other one was, because the boycotts failed, they've moved on now. So now they've taken to posting spoilers for the end of the game. If anyone's live streaming it on Twitch, it's particularly on Twitch, because Twitch is where most of the rabidly left-wing nutters go to make fools of themselves. But if anyone was streaming it on Twitch, you had people bullied off of their streams by their own chat. But now you've got people turning to just posting spoilers of the game in chat to try. All they're really trying to do is ruin it for other people at this stage, because they couldn't convince anybody not to play it.
Here you go, a super chat, coincidentally the same green as the Hogwarts. What's the chance of that? From Hostman Socrates, 5 $5. Thank you, my friend. To all the rowling hater. Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. I think someone's getting something off their
Definitely
chest.
using his words there, isn't it? Definitely using his words.
It failed on the getting rid of it, didn't it? It failed on the boycott completely.
Oh yeah.
Everybody went out and bought
Good.
it.
Well, what's interesting is like I kind of wanted to see if anyone actually cared about the controversy behind this. And I mean, it's anecdotal. I just went on like Facebook. I never go on Facebook and just kind of look at comments and stuff and see what people are saying on, IGN's Facebook page and all these places. And I kind of realized like most people don't really know what's going on with Twitter drama
Yeah, I was
unless
just about to
it's
say, yeah.
unless it's actually addressed through the mainstream news, because that's still where a lot of people get most of their news from. So like no one even knew that there's a problem. I would imagine that the vast majority of people don't even know about the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling. Like a normal person, like, you just don't give a shit because who cares?
It's an incredibly online
people do.
phenomenon.
Yeah.
But it does.
Twitter's not the world, though. That's the, So
Right, exactly.
It bleeds into the world in the sense that a lot of like games journalists or even journalist outlets covering the game will get most of their lead from Twitter. So the BBC, when the game launched, the BBC headlined it something like Hogwarts game premieres to online controversy. The BBC has for many, many years defended itself from people who think maybe that there are reasons to question the climate change narrative by saying, well, only 1% of scientists question the official narrative on climate change. And so in giving fair and balanced views on the BBC, we are not trying to skew the debate by giving 50-50 representation to people in a tiny, tiny minority.
Yeah.
That's not the standard they use for Hogwarts Legacy, though, because it's basically the same, right? You've got a tiny fraction of the population who have bought into effectively conspiracy theories, who are going mad online about the game, and the BBC presents these people as though they are worth 50-50 representation. I don't really mind which approach the BBC chooses, as long as it chooses a consistent one. If you're not going to platform people with wildly out there science views, you probably shouldn't platform people with wildly out there social views either.
I choose to ignore the BBC, which is a shame. Theodore Pinnock. I saw girlfriend reviews getting bullied by their stream chats. And
That was the one. Yeah.
And they're a channel that praised the hell out of TLOU2 and accused The Last of Us 2 of organising a harassment campaign against them. Fucking hell. What is it me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it is me, okay.
Moving on.
What is wrong with these people?
They have nothing better to do. This is the primary concern in their life, and that's the problem. They have no actual struggle.
And they've been radicalized as well.
Yeah, and they're younger folks, and so even easier to radicalize. I don't know. 3 weeks of watching North Korea documentaries will tell you don't have much of a problem.
And eating gruel. Johnny Lawrence's mum in the chat. I watched the Lord stream of Hogwarts Legacy, and wow, that game was super boring.
Well, at least you didn't say the stream was super boring, otherwise we'd have had problems. But they are an incredibly radicalized set of people, and it's not all trans people at all. I mean, most trans people I know, and I know a few, are no more online than anybody else is, and find it all a bit perplexing, and don't particularly like being bunched in with a load of complete fanatical morons. But by the same token, I've got lots of friends who are not trans, would describe themselves as being trans rights activists, who are completely off the wall mad about this stuff. And it does all have all the hallmarks of radicalization. And the number of wild conspiracy theories that emerge, and then the narrative that's based on those conspiracy theories. So there's a widely shared Reddit post a few days ago, people saying, basically, the Republicans in the US are now committed to exterminating trans people, and because they're not, which is nonsense, obviously, but because they're now committed to exterminating trans people, here goes the narrative, I don't see any
And my
option for voting them out because they've also rigged all of the elections. Okay. And then because they've also rigged all of the elections, I'm demonetizing your channel, by the way, because they've also rigged all of the elections, there's no alternative now than political violence. And I don't want this to be the case, but I don't see any alternative. And that's how sort of the radicalized mind goes. You buy into one flawed premise because you've been so het up by everyone else repeating the same stuff to you online, and then you run with it. And then that opinion gets shared largely in places like Reddit, Tumblr, if that still exists,
like
and on Twitch
pyramiding,
streams in
isn't it?
particular. And yeah, it snowballs after that because all of these systems are echo chambers, and you get to the point where the most influential left-wing streamers on Twitch even won't touch the game, even though these people are about as uncancelable as J.K. Rowling is. People like Hassan Piker said, I'm not going to play the game because it's not worth the hassle. Well, you're in a position to de-radicalize a lot of your fans here, Mr. Hassan. And, I mean, I know you have no principles and no spine, but if you did have either of those things and you wanted to stream it, please do. Or you could just play the game, put the game on, and get off your chair and leave, which is what you do with everything else.
The Lord has spoken, everybody.
There you
He
are.
has.
The Lord has spoken.
Yep.
Well said. Well said.
Well said, Lord. Okay. Shall we leave this hot topic and my monetization behind?
Oh dear.
My 20p for doing this. Okay, let's move on. Just going back to what the Lord had just said. They're still not happy.
Like I say, I just don't understand how everyone else is a transphobic bigot, yet here we have Rebecca Root, who is quite well known to Big Finish listeners of Doctor Who stuff.
Who is Rebecca
as
Root?
being,
Sorry.
It's a transgender actor who appears on Big Finish audios mostly. That's how I know who it is.
Right, okay.
Now
Right.
they've appeared in this video game as a voice over actor. Over actor. They don't sound particularly feminine, and there was one person who was I think a trans ally saying on Twitter that they thought this was offensive that they got a man to play the part of a woman. They didn't know. They didn't know. So that was
Is it me?
one hell of a situation that blew up
I
on
think
Twitter.
she has a line in the game. I think the character is trans as well. I believe there is a line in the game where she says something about her friends who knew her as a wizard took a while to accept her as a witch. But again, going back to that point of how these people just grasp at straws and then use that as an excuse to get mad. This character's name is Sirona Ryan. Sirona is the name of an Irish deity, I believe. But according to certain trans activists on Twitter, this is actually a J.K. Rowling dog whistle, because if you just delete some of the words in her name, you get Sir Ryan, and that's proof that J.K. Rowling is a fascist. J.K. Rowling didn't name the character and has nothing at all involved in writing this game. If you change, yeah, of course, if you get rid of some letters from a word, the word changes, but to say that I've removed the letters, therefore it's utter madness. And these people have convinced themselves that there's a Harry Potter naming convention, which is essentially
Harry
J.K.
Potter.
Rowling reveals herself to be incredibly racist by using certain names that you can just easily tweak if you're vexatious and turn into nasty things. It's nonsense, but that's where we are in the state of trans activism today.
Here you go, folks. Super chat from John Orchard, $5. Thank you, sir. This is just the next level of cancel culture. These are actions of desperate they-thems to be relevant. Do you see what I did there?
Very good.
Yes, I
Well
thought
done,
so.
sir.
They're never happy, are they?
Not particularly. No, I mean I'm still experiencing it on Twitter. It's quite amusing how vicious they are, and I just don't understand where they think this is going to win them allies and friends.
I'm not going to read that, by the way. Because if I was to get half a pence from this stream, I'm determined to get a penny from this stream.
But there was someone else who said something like J.K. Rowling wrote a character
Easy.
into the books called Cho Chink, who was a Chinese character. It's like, well, that's not true. Like, her name was Cho Chang, and Chang is like the second most popular surname in
He
China.
didn't
So
try
it's
to
like,
milk a cow, did he?
I have no idea.
It's like Smith, isn't it, over there? So
Yeah.
God almighty.
It's a legitimate Chinese surname. You can't call her racist for using an actual Chinese surname, you moron, or changing the Chinese surname that she actually used because you're an idiot.
Are you Wong about that?
Oh God.
God help us.
I can feel the Wong jokes coming in.
What about Wang? Wang jokes. That's what we're here.
Okay, it's just, do you know, it's just tiresome, if anything.
It is.
stay off
It's
Twitter then.
Exhausting.
It is.
Stay off Twitter.
Let's move on.
Oh no, you're kidding.
Oh,
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
even Tony the Tiger's been Sam Smithed. Oh my goodness.
Is it
What,
even
this-
Tony anymore? Is it
is
Tamara
the-
Tiger?
Is
Tanya
this
the
real?
Tiger.
For
Or is
Antoinette.
this like fan art or something? This can't be real.
No,
right?
it's
Can't be real.
the, as we say every week, this is the internet. So somebody said
All right.
Tony's. Yeah.
Tanya.
So I've misgendered them, sorry. It's the internet, it's true.
It's,
In the chats, they're them. Great.
Uh,
Why isn't Z in here?
you know
He's
what,
under the
right?
weather.
That stuff's not good for you. You know how much sugar that stuff has got in the thing. It's just ridiculous. You can't eat. Nobody can eat that stuff anymore. It's ridiculous.
Poor they, them, the lion, tiger thing.
Can I just say, purple's so not Tony's colour.
Yeah, the purple with the blue background is harsh.
Did somebody?
It's like a
This is
bruise.
just a fan thing, right? This isn't going to be on the boxes, is it? I'd be
Not
pretty
yet,
surprised.
but
It's
maybe
a-
soon.
It's a crazy world, mate.
Oh dear, it's not good.
Atom Grey. They're fabulous.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Hannah Timbom, Frosted Snowflakes, more like.
Nice. Nice.
There you go. Keep them away from the kids.
I wonder what plastic toys you'll find in this box.
Is it me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So coming to a grocery store near you quite soon. Something to look forward to.
Get your teeth
especially the
into.
kids. Okay, let's
Sink
move
your
on.
teeth into this one.
Oh yes, let's move on. Okay, so we're on to
Yes.
kind of normal stuff. Teaser
Well.
poster for which we think is going to be the best film of the century, The Flash, was dropped. Because we're going to be back on this channel just saying how fucking amazing it is, aren't we? We just know we are.
Oh, yeah.
So the recent announcements of like what James Gunn's going to keep and not keep, it's keeping the door open that like these things will still matter that have happened in the DC universe so far, but I still don't like my feeling towards this movie obviously wasn't very optimistic anyway, but it was gutted after they decided to drop like Henry Cavill and everything. So my excitement level is practically null and void no matter what they do now.
But it was obvious they were going to use him to change, or Flash to change to change the DC universe, weren't they? That was the rumor.
They were going to have like Michael Keaton come in and be like the primary Batman or something. Like he filmed parts in 3 different movies and they're only going to do this one. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's I'm not really looking forward to this film at all.
Movie, I'm assuming you're not looking forward to this because it's not emo Batman.
No, I love all the iterations of Batman. They all have
you
some
like that
sort of
film, don't
charm. I do. You know what? I love that
Moving
film. Almost as much as George Clooney.
Yeah.
nipple Batman.
I just got a sneaking suspicion we're going to be coming, as we said, we're going to be coming back saying, "Fucking hell, this film's incredible."
Hey, then that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah, but I doubt it though. I doubt it.
I feel like the best case scenario is I walk away feeling fulfilled, like, oh, that was a good movie. Too bad it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or walking away from the movie and thinking, God, I can't wait for emo Batman 2.
Is that
I already can't wait for that.
Batplane?
I'll skip right over this and watch emo Batman 2.
Yeah.
Is that
This is
Black
emo
Batplane?
Flash. Yeah, it looks
Is that
like
the
a-
No, that's
Batplane,
what he
isn't
does.
it?
He flashes.
I'm just asking the question. Is it the Batplane?
Yeah, that's his
above
Batwing.
him?
Yeah,
Batwing.
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
From
Batwing.
the 89 Batman
Yeah.
movie.
Right. Gotcha.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Johnny Lawrence's mum in the chat. I was looking forward to it at one point, simply because of Michael Keaton. And now it's like bile in my throat. It's probably COVID.
You know they're going to be featuring that Supergirl that looks like a boy a lot in this as well. You know that's going to happen. So it can't
One
be
with
good
the
at all.
chicken leg abs that they.
Here you go,
probably put
folks.
into the suit.
Channel favourites. Velma Dinklage in the chat. Look at this trash. Using Batman to get the fans in. Only us in freaks will be watching this.
I'm a
June
bit
16th.
disappointed with Gunn because he's literally keeping this guy. He got rid of Henry, but he's keeping this guy. I mean, and he's keeping what's her name as well.
Isn't that just a rumor? Like, it's not. He hasn't confirmed that, has he?
I think he says elsewhere that belong to the elsewhere DC world, and so he's saying that some of what's his name's Zack's stuff belongs in elsewhere world, but not Henry Cavill Superman. You know, and that kind of tells me that he's still on the side of these twits that are run Hollywood. He doesn't want to upset them too much. That tells me that. But there you go. That's what I think. Otherwise, he would have just got rid of all this rubbish.
I mean, it is coincidental.
Nah,
Perhaps
I
if
think
he
it's done
got rid
deliberately.
of all of them completely, it'd be
Yeah.
much too soon.
then we would have more faith. But he's not. He's keeping him, and he's keeping the girl that was in Aquaman. That was it Johnny Depp's ex-wife, whatever. He's keeping her. You know what I mean? It just stinks of he doesn't want to upset the cart, if you know what I mean. So anyway.
Here you go. Johnny Lawrence's mum. Haha. It's funny that at Mr. Brown answers me refers to me as Johnny Lawrence's mum because I really did name my son John Lawrence. What are the chances of that, eh? Wow. Blue Boy, would you care to, if you're available, that is, to read a super chat from
Sure. Hostman Socrates.
Yes.
Yes, $5 for Mr. Brown. To Blue Boy, read The Long Halloween if you want what emo Bat is supposed to be. I have. It's my favorite Batman story, and I did a video essay where I talk about the influences of The Dark Knight and the Batman. You should check that out. You might like it. I'm not just trying to plug the video. I think you actually might like it. But I discussed The Long Halloween in detail.
Is it on your channel?
Yeah, it's on the main channel. Yep.
Okay. If you want to throw a link in the chat, go for it, mate.
Yeah, sure.
I do like Batman though.
It's one of my first videos. I think it's informative, but I don't like my delivery in it. But if you're interested in the topic, it's still reasonable.
I think
There
the
you go.
reason why Batman's so popular is because he's a hard ass. Do you know what I mean? He's like really brutal, and that's the reason why. I mean, Superman is okay, but he's just a Boy Scout. But everyone really wants to be Batman more than
Batman like toes the line perfectly of being like an authentic, stereotypical hero and an anti-hero.
Yeah,
It's, like, right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So, Ian, question: Superman or Batman for you?
The thing is, I'm a Marvel freak, so
okay.
I prefer Marvel characters. But I if I had to choose one, I would choose Batman any day because I think Batman's awesome. You know, Superman can pick up a plane, a truck, or whatever with ease, but Batman, he really has to put 100% effort in, beating people up and stuff like that. So, the human element always works for me when it comes to Batman.
Probably.
Batman.
Superman or
He's got
Batman?
all the cool
Batman.
gadgets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman. Definitely.
Movie, I assume, Batman. Lord,
yeah.
Super, or Batman?
Also, Batman. I find Superman tedious.
Although Donna's Superman was brilliant. In fact, he was just the way I imagine Superman in the comics. So, yeah.
Here you go, folks. Movies link for that video is in the chat. Scotty Romeo 37. Hello, Scotty. Superman for the heart, Batman for the brains.
Right on.
I'm Superman.
I feel like older
big
people are
girls' flowers.
Superman, and you're an older people.
Well, Ian's older.
I'm
than
an
me.
older people.
You'll be
You're
old
older than
once.
Brown?
I'm older than Brown.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not older. He is. Ian.
I am. Yeah, I'm older than everybody actually.
And,
Yeah,
that's Mr. Brown to you. Have a bit of
Mr.
respect,
Brown.
young man.
Brown.
Put some respect on my name.
I don't know.
Anyway. Okay, so I think I'm kind of looking forward to this.
You're gonna go and see it, Ian.
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of thinking that if obviously they binned Batgirl or Batchild or whatever it was, I'm kind of thinking that this probably might be good, because if it had been dog shit, I even think they'd have written the 200 million off.
Yeah, but they don't know what dog shit is though. That's the
That's
problem.
true.
Well, they binned Catchild off, Batchild.
Yeah, but
So-
it must have been really bad for them to bin it. It must have been absolutely awful. It must have been. But they really don't know. If they knew, they would never have released Superman versus Batman, because that was awful.
You know what? Even as I said, I prefer Superman, Chris Reeves, etc.
Yeah, so do I.
I wasn't really into the Batman stuff with Keaton. I watched it, but it just didn't. I didn't quite connect. But genuinely, I think it would be good to see Keaton once more if he's in this.
Yeah, it'd be great to see him
Ah,
again.
Keaton's my Batman.
Yeah, and I think Warner are making a mistake by just binning his appearances other than this one.
But seriously though, how can you F up this
Warner's,
universe?
isn't it?
How can you do it? I mean, you have so many characters that are iconic. How could have got it so wrong? You must have been whoever was in charge must have been a complete and utter idiot.
I don't know who watches a
a
Zack Snyder movie and says, "Yeah, give that guy the reins to
Exactly.
the entire." Like, he is not. I knew from the get-go. I didn't even have a grudge against him or anything until this universe, because I love superhero movies so much. And then I was just like, wow, this guy really sucks.
I think there's a
does.
minor Twitter hashtag campaign at the moment, which is always seems to be the case with Zack Snyder. It's like something like "sell the Snyderverse to
Oh,
Netflix,"
yeah.
I think is the hashtag.
Yeah.
Which is fine by me, because it's about the same quality as the average stuff you'd see on Netflix these days. But he has these weirdly devoted fans, half of whom are robots, who will get behind him with no justification whatsoever on the grounds that he's edgy and he has a vision. Just no.
is,
he might
I've-
well have a vision, but it's a shit one. So
I've said this. I've said
He's got
this before,
Specsavers.
right? I've said this before. I know someone that knows what happened, right, in Warner Brothers, and I have it with good authority from one of my friends that was in the fray. That Zack did not know anything about the DC world. He didn't even know what Superman, the actual
didn't-
thing. He didn't know about Superman. He knew
Right.
Superman, but he didn't read the comics. He didn't know anything about Superman. Didn't know anything about Batman either. And that explains a lot, his interpretations of both characters. It really does. So my friend said he knew nothing. People had to actually get him comics so he could study what was going on, whatever. And he still got it wrong. He still got it wrong.
The praise for him blows my mind. I really do not understand the cult following he has.
There you
I
go.
just don't.
300 Watchmen, anybody like them? I enjoyed 300.
Yeah, when I
watched,
saw
Watchmen last
300,
night.
Watchmen's great. Watchmen's great, right? But
Nah.
the thing is, he didn't even know that either. He was given the project, and obviously he read the comic, and he actually did a good job. He followed some of the panels and everything. He followed the story quite well, apart from the ending bit, which I actually agree with what he did with the ending. But he is not a comic freak. He's not a comic book freak at all.
No,
you
and
can
the
tell.
praise he's given by his cult is that he, look at all the things, how comic accurate it is, and it's not. It's just a bunch of lip service. It's like, ooh, it's the imagery, which is all he's good at anyway.
And the slow motions.
Yeah.
I watch anything that he does in bad faith at this point.
I mean, immediately when he started doing his own stuff like Sucker Punch, that was just terrible.
Oh, that was awful.
You know what I mean? I'm saying, so the other stuff that he did before Sucker Punch was based on something. But then when he did his own stuff, that's when his real colors showed.
His best movie was the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, no, but that wasn't his stuff, was it? It was something
No,
else.
it wasn't
So,
his. Right. He didn't write it, and he
No.
wasn't given a big budget yet, so he couldn't do all the stupid slow-mo stuff and CGI everything.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway.
Okay. So
Move along.
On 1 hour, we shall move on.
Oh, back to Superman and James Gunn.
We'll just briefly mention this then. Gunn, I don't know, what's he trying to do by just posting all this emotive imagery?
He's probably got someone in mind to play Superman.
I think
Probably.
he's showing us, what his direction is. He wants a hopeful Superman,
Hogwarts.
a brighter Superman.
He's going to be directing it, isn't he?
He's writing it. He's not going to direct it, though.
All right. Wouldn't be surprised if he did direct it, though.
Any ideas who's going to play a younger Superman, anybody?
Well, Superman
know?
shouldn't be young. He should be Superman. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand the direction that he's going
Is it
in.
going to be another origin story, do we know?
No, he said he's going to skip that. He's not doing
Right.
an origin. Yeah.
Oh, well. Good luck.
Epion with a Brightburn 2. Gotcha. Did
I
anyone
like
see Brightburn?
Yeah,
it was-
I liked
was-
it. I liked
It
it.
was all right, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
I wanted it to. It was such a great concept that it could have been a lot better, but it was still
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was basically Superman
Agreed.
gone bad.
Okay. Here we go.
Does that mean he's
Postman.
bringing his pants back, though? Is that why he's put that picture up?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I
They
was
did a
thinking
vote,
too.
didn't they?
The
It's like
trunks
the
will be
outside,
back.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Hostman, another super chat, $5. Cheers, my friend. Snyder did a great job with
Rorschach, yeah.
who was
did.
originally a piss take of Steve Ditko. Randian object, is that random? Objectivism
Randian.
and individualism on Moore's part.
Yeah, Moore took his name off the credits, didn't he? Because he didn't want anything.
He
like
hates
does with
every-
everything that's made of.
Oh, right.
Nothing that's adapted of his work he likes.
Yeah, but Moore's crazy, though. Have you seen him? He's absolutely crazy, that
Yeah.
guy. But
He
he's
looks
very
like
good
a
at comics.
skinny Hagrid.
He does, yeah, he
Oh,
does.
that's me.
Absolutely mental.
In the chat,
He's a wizard.
super them. Yes.
Superman should be Superman. He should be hopeful. He should be, colourful. He should do incredible things. You know what I mean? He should come up against Brainiac. That is the next film, not the stupid. Let's get a boy to play Superman and blah 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 and all that crap. They should give us a
Did
proper
you see that
Superman.
fan-made Superman thing with the Brainiac? That CGI
I know. Is it
animation
good?
that someone did it. Oh, it's incredible. So I'll see
Do you
if I
want
can
to
find
put a
I'll
link in
send
the
it to
chat
you.
when you find it? Melvin
I'll
Deeply in the chat. Hello, Melvin. Henry Cavill is the only Superman anyone's interested in. They're making a mistake not having him in their film.
You know what? They could do 3 Superman movies with Henry if they had their shit together and they planned it out. And like every other year, he'll still look good after what? 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, he's got. I reckon
mean-
he's got 5-6 years.
Yeah.
He's 39 now. I reckon that he could probably even push it out to.
Yeah,
50?
he could probably go to 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah. So it's just
they've got
they're
11
just being
years.
Stupid.
That
That's all.
receding hairline will get him, but
Yeah, it will. But there's always
They'll
wigs.
fix that in post.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
There's always wigs. Yeah.
yeah, they could CGI the mustache out just fine, so the hair will really.
But I
Look
mean,
good.
if
even tell.
It's come a long
Elton
way
John
since
and
then, mate.
Elon Musk could grow hair all of a sudden, I'm pretty
I
sure
wish I
that
could.
he could go.
He had
there and
hair
get it.
transplant surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Henry
yeah.
can go and get one. Yeah, so it'd be pretty.
I think what. Sorry, Brainiac is a great villain. Yeah.
he is.
But the idea that people are only interested in Henry Cavill, like, is everyone seriously saying that he was really great in the role because I
No,
mean he
no,
was just
yeah.
he's
Just
just
the
he was
look.
pretty good, right? And
Yeah.
but the look was really good,
Charm-
but
the charm as well.
there was
the charm's
nothing
there.
about him as Superman that was just
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
that
he's
was-
incredible. No
Yeah,
one can replace him.
Yeah,
But
you
that was
like
the
emo Batman.
script.
So what do you know?
No, but
Yeah,
that
but
was
he's
the
not my
script.
favorite iteration of Batman. And just like with the Joker, like the best incarnation is Heath Ledger's as far as film presence goes.
Yeah.
But it was the script that let him down. I mean, he wasn't. It looks like he wasn't well directed at all in any iteration of Superman at all. He has the looks, and he has the, he has the, and you can tell if a good director directed Superman, he was in it. He would have
into it as
made
well.
him work, definitely work.
into
But
it.
Zack didn't have a clue. He didn't have a clue what Superman was all about. at
See,
all.
I think that he like him as Superman. I don't see as a huge loss with being replaced. All it really showed me was that they just don't have a clue at all of what they're doing.
All
That's
about
agree.
anything, to be fair.
I agree.
Not just Superman.
yeah.
I totally agree with you.
So yeah, I'll put the link in there. The
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage.
here we go. Look,
so it's actually
Probbies. There you go,
Nicolas
folks.
Cage Superman.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to check
really
that
good.
out too. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage would have made a great Superman.
What was it?
He was supposed to be.
Didn't we say
know.
last week? Get him to come back as is it Bizarro?
Do you know
Superman?
what, right? I saw a cartoon with Superman versus Brainiac. It was Superman and Supergirl versus Brainiac.
There you go.
And do you know what? Brainiac was terrifying. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you need for the next movie. You need a real Superman, you need a real threat. You just need all that stuff, man. But they're not going to give it to
Bring
us.
back Zod.
Oh, here you
That's
go. Edge time. Hello, Edge. Superman is terminally broken, like me.
They just don't want a good all-American Boy Scout in a blue leotard.
They just don't want to give the paying customers what they want because
America's evil.
because they wish it. Simple as that.
Oh, because you wish it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see what I did there? Okay, let's move on.
It's the bad man.
Okay, legendary DC Comics writer Chuck Dixon reacts to James Gunn's DCU slate. I don't think he knows what the audience wants.
Oh,
See
what a
the
surprise.
previous 10 minutes.
If you guys were to have it your way on screen as a fan of Superman, like you guys are a bigger DC fan than me, what would you like to see?
Oh, you know what? Me personally, I would like to see a hopeful Superman, right?
Yeah.
Played, if it's Henry or if it's someone else, hopeful Superman, right? He does his Superman thing, and then Brainiac comes along and turns the tables, and we just get a terrifying second half of Superman, and then Superman resolves the whole situation. That's what we need, in my opinion.
I want to see
We need a good
I
Superman.
want to see a comic book accurate Batman with a comic book
Yay.
accurate Joker. Because we've never seen the Joker as he's supposed to be in the comics.
Yeah,
Skinny.
I'm just like I'm jokered out. I really
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
But I want to see a proper Joker before I die.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I want.
I think I said many streams ago a Superman in the vein of the Donner films,
Yep.
and I said as kind of as a love letter to Richard Donner, get his best mate, Mel Gibson, to direct
That would be awesome.
the Superman movie.
I don't think he's into it, though. That's the thing. I think Mel
Yeah,
Gibson has a
But
higher...
he'd do
yeah.
a great job in honor of Richard Donner. And
So
I
we
just
I-
Superman versus the Jewish New World Order.
I actually
And
think
my
Mel,
monetization gone.
Isn't Batman
I-
Jewish?
I actually think Mel Gibson's a really good director. I've
he
seen,
is.
I've seen
Yeah.
his
He
work,
is.
and I think he's a brilliant director. He's much better director than he is an actor, in my opinion. He really is. But somehow, I don't think he'll take a project like this because he's not interested
He's
in
doing
stuff
Lethal
like
Weapon
that.
5, isn't he?
I know, but but he is Lethal Weapon. Let's face it, he is that character.
It's,
So,
I think next year is 25 years since Lethal Weapon 4. Can you
yeah, I'm
believe it?
too old for this shit. Yeah.
25 years.
Based on what you guys were saying you wanted in like a DC movie universe, it sounds from what he announced, that's kind of what he's going for. A more hopeful Superman, comic accurate Batman, because he's going to introduce the Bat family. So it kind of seems like he's heading that track.
Not starting with Dick Grayson.
I don't think he's doing that.
Because he's
starting with
introducing
Dick now.
Damien. Yeah.
I don't think he's doing that. What you really need to do is start off with a Batman film and a Superman film. Just concentrate on that and see how it goes. He's obviously employing his wife, making sure his wife is solid with work, and also
surgery, mate.
he's concentrating on the comic, the cartoons and stuff. We don't want the cartoons. We just want the two iconic characters to have a really decent movie, Batman and Superman. Concentrate on those two, get those two right, and then you can move forward. But he's not doing that.
In the chat, I'm not even going to read that, but you can read it.
Oh, then Mel Gibson is certainly the director for you.
There you go, Melvin
not sure
Deeply.
about that.
Apocalypto was a fantastic movie.
It was.
Besides the ending not making any sense whatsoever. But
Yeah. But the thing is that he's a really good director.
he is. He's very good. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we're going to get what we want. But anyway, let's move on.
Never do.
I'm not even sure what I do want from it at this point. I
I don't
am
even. Yeah.
bored of
Entertained,
superheroes.
just to be
It's very
entertained.
hard to do anything. Certainly with Superman, I think it's kind of hard to do something that wouldn't smack as derivative or just repetitive. If you're going to give him your stereotypical hero's journey, well, there's only so many ways you can do that with Superman. Superman is sort of limited, as far as I understand him anyway, by the fact that he is basically God with a very small number of potential weaknesses that can depower him. So what are we going to do? Kryptonite again? Oh, then he goes back to being not Superman, and then he has to rediscover his powers. And
but Superman. But the thing is, though, people want to see that again, right? But done well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every story is the same, basically. Every story that's been told. There's only a certain amount of stories. Only a certain amount of things you can do in a story. I don't think people mind that, but it having respect for the material and doing it well, and having a point where in the film itself that everything is lost. You've got to drive the emotions of people when they watch stuff like this. If you're connected by the emotion of the character, say Batman or Superman, you will come out the cinema smiling. But they never do that. In the last iteration of Batman and Superman, I didn't feel anything for those characters, and I came out frowning. Do you know what I mean?
No, they weren't really characters. They were like the MonsterVerse films. Why are you watching it? It was like seeing Godzilla fighting King Kong. Just giant monsters on the screen.
Yes, I'm saying. But if
you look
at
really
the
good
difference,
analogy.
so if you look at the difference between the Donna, I did really like Chris Reeves' Superman. I liked Superman, and I really liked Clark Kent. I felt I was like, Clark Kent, please get Lois Lane. Do you know what I mean? You were always rooting for them, both of them. Because Clark Kent was funny and Superman was exactly who you really want to be in real life. So and you connected with that emotionally, didn't you? Obviously, it's not a perfect film, but that's what we need. And to get that, you need a good director, a really good director, and a really good writer. That's what you need. But they're not. They're just hiring stupid people to. Anyway, I shall stop there.
I think it would be a good idea to walk out of a Superman movie the same way I walked out of Top Gun Maverick, thinking, fucking hell, that was a great film.
Yeah. That's what you need. That's what it connecting to it emotionally.
It's not rocket science.
That's what you need. The only time I connected to Batman versus Superman emotionally is when Batman had that fight. That fight was awesome. When I was watching that fight, this is so awesome, that fight. But that was the only good thing in the movie, in my opinion.
There you go, Appion. The first Superman movie is still great, holds up today
it does.
quite well. It does. Yeah, here you go, Appion, uplifting, yeah.
I mean, who didn't get upset when Lois Lane got crushed by those rocks and Superman was just standing there and he was completely lost, looking at, the person that he loves dead in front of him? I mean, who didn't feel for that scene? And that scene was so well directed because it was a shot where it was just a wide shot and there was no sound, and you could feel the whole audience feeling it. Yeah,
I saw that in the cinema at 3, and it haunted me.
yeah. That's what you need. You need a good director to come in, with imagination. And anyway,
okay, we want Gibson then. Okay, let's move on.
Let's get Gibbs. Critical drinker.
Yeah, Disney lost. Bearing in mind, we're only a month and a bit in of 2023. 2.4 million subscribers.
Yeah.
I suppose technically in the last 90 days.
Doesn't mean anything to them though. That's small compared to
don't
how
know.
many
I think it means a
subscribers
lot.
Disney.
I don't
They
know.
just slashed 7,000 jobs. I'm pretty sure this is contributing massively to that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think this isn't just a Disney problem, because this is when 2020 rolled around, everyone was home, and that's when everyone was like, we're doing this streaming thing because that's where everything's going. And just like whenever there's a boom of something, there's a bunch and only a couple still stand tall at the end, and this is what's going to happen. It's going to eat everyone alive. There's only going to be a couple in the end. It's just how
It's not gonna be
everything
pretty,
shakes
is
out.
it?
No, it's insane, because I remember when it was going on and these companies were just investing unbelievable amounts of money into these streaming services, and none of them are doing well.
Yeah, I know. It's
'Cause
crazy,
it's
isn't
just,
it?
yeah, everything's just spread too thin. You can get things for free. YouTube is free, and I watch that 99% of the time. The other 1% is the stuff I review for YouTube.
And also, big movies are not going to the cinema. Like, the latest Lethal Weapon film, the rumor is that it's going straight to HBO once it's done. It's not even going to go in the cinema.
And that's all just to boost a streaming service that's losing you money. So that basically effectively earned you like no money.
Yeah.
And once it's streaming digitally as well, it's going straight to pirate. That's what people do it. Consume the media that way.
Whacking Wardrobe, according to great name, hello sir. According to rumours, Lucasfilm might be creating another continuity.
Well, we'll see.
We got a bit.
There is
that in a minute.
so there's a slight qualifier with the Disney Plus losing 2.4 million subs. It's a slightly weird qualifier as well. Disney Plus had the rights to stream, I think it's Indian Premier League cricket, and it passed over those rights on this occasion. And a large part of the loss of 2.4 million subs is being attributed to the fact that it's not streaming that anymore. Obviously, India is a potentially huge market. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So streaming services, Amazon has been doing this as well with the Premier League football. You will pay way over the odds for sports broadcasting rights. You will lose a huge amount of money on that, but what you will gain from that is subscribers. Amazon paid, I don't remember, I think it was into the billions for the rights to stream just 30 or 50 Premier League games in a season. Yep. Because what it's banking on is that people will then subscribe to Amazon to watch the football. Eventually, you will get to a point, and now we're sort of coming out of the era of silly money, and Disney's struggling in other areas. You will have to balance your business model away from subscriber growth and toward profitability. Actually, those things don't track. Subscriber growth tends to coincide with negative profit or even loss, because what you're investing in is the future investor base. Disney is pivoting to to balance the books effectively, and that's because Disney Plus is one part of a larger business, and the larger business isn't in very rude health at the moment. So I wouldn't read too much into the loss of those subscribers, partly because it's very specifically a loss of cricket, but also because it's indicative of a shift in strategy away from sub growth matters more than anything to Disney Plus now needs to start making less of a loss, and then eventually in the medium term to making a profit as well. So it's part of a plan. It's just whether or not that plan comes to fruition.
In the chat, Lord on his podium now.
I get on it for about 5 minutes in a go, and then I have to go and get some coffee.
Yeah.
There is quite a little bit of Disney, so anything to add on this, guys, before we move on?
Good riddance. I hope it collapses in on itself. I really do. Before
It won't
Doctor
go
Who
bust,
season.
will it?
No, it won't go bust.
No, sadly.
Will,
I mean,
will Apple buy Disney?
Nah. Now Disney's too powerful. It's like they destroyed Pixar. There's nothing that Pixar has done recently that anyone remembers. They
Yeah, but
literally
there's always
destroyed
a
them.
bigger fish, and Apple is the bigger fish. So it's
Yes.
I
impossible.
guess.
But again, it is all tied to the health of Disney, the parent company. Disney Plus lost 1.6 billion dollars in a quarter last year. I mean, it's an incredibly expensive thing to set this up. What they're doing, much as like Netflix did, is it's raising that capital by telling investors we will have a huge amount of subscriber growth in perpetuity, and then so that's the thing that makes this strategy quite risky, right? Because if investors then look at the loss of 2.4 million subscribers and don't really pay attention to the causes underlying that, can Disney continue to raise the money to cover the losses that it makes on the streaming service, even if, as it plans to do, it cuts those losses by a few $100 million? That will be interesting. But it's all to do with Disney as a parent company. Will Disney as a parent company be able to survive without, for example, massive theme park revenue, which is still struggling to recover, and with its legislative battles with Ron DeSantis as well? The company's not in a good state at the moment, and the streaming service was an endeavor they embarked upon when they were doing incredibly well for themselves, and they, rather than fix the roof while the sun was shining, they decided to build an extension.
Johnny Lawrence's mum, I'm ready to cancel D+, but keep it for little Johnny. Digital
See, that's what they're
babysitter.
counting on, aren't
Yes,
they?
the digital
That's what they,
babysitter.
they're-
Your children are being indoctrinated
Yep.
from a very young age.
Yeah, and a lot of parents are beginning to realise that now. I know a couple
yes.
of families that actually unsubscribed. I think they saw that film. They saw two films. Well, I know a mother that saw two films that she was disgusted by. One was that one where the girl turns into a big red teddy bear.
I hated
Can't
that
remember what
movie.
that one's called.
Turning
and
Red.
then yeah, the other one is the one like where they go into the middle of the earth, whatever, and the guy is
Strange
gay,
New
whatever.
World.
Yeah, and she said to me that why are they showing stuff like this to my kids? And she stopped watching Disney.
Yeah.
Came off it. There you go.
Hostman to all the Disney stands. There you go. Hostman's busy tonight.
It's a shame because I really used to love Disney when I was
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah, we used to look forward to Disney films at the cinema.
Yeah,
It was Disney stuff was quality.
it
A
was.
different beast back then.
Yes, How the Mighty Have Fallen.
I'm the only one that liked Dragon Slayer. Do you remember the Disney film? Nobody remembers it, but I loved it. See, no one remembers it.
Nope.
Look it up. Google it.
You did say Dragon Slayer.
I think I do.
I think it's Dragon Slayer. Yeah, I think it's
No, I
called
don't
Dragon
remember
Slayer. Yeah, it's a good film. Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. We're moving on, by the way. Indiana Jones
And the Pile of Heresy. Yep.
and the Dial of Something becomes one of the most expensive
Yeah, I know.
movies
Crazy.
ever made at 300. That's $300 million,
crazy.
and that's not including the marketing.
Well, that was foolish.
But
Even though
it's-
people go see it. But
you know what, right? I reckon it's going to be passable when I watch it because
I
obviously
kind of
they've
do as well. Yes.
gotten wind of what's going on and they've changing
Yes.
a lot. I heard, right, and I got another source. I heard that not only are they changing the ending, but they're changing a lot of other things in the film as well. So there you go. You see, just like Star Trek, the people that made Star Trek reached out to the internet, to people like
Yes.
Dave Cullen and Gary and stuff like that, sending them episodes of the late Star Trek
6
TV show.
episodes, yes.
They are seeing that and they are getting very worried. So they want to try and reach out but not say that they're wrong. So that's why they're changing stuff. And they're changing more than just the ending. This is the rumor that I heard. So there you go. Before Doomcock.
Yeah, does this go back to obviously Disney need to make money,
Yeah.
They
do.
might want to.
so they actually
Yeah,
would
it's
consider
about
this
time.
if they do it right. This is a cash cow, so maybe the
I,
penny has dropped.
So my friend told me, right, that is in the midst of this. He told me that they asked Harrison Ford to come back, and Harrison Ford was laughing. He was screaming with laughter because he's getting more money. He doesn't. He's just piling the money in. So they obviously asked him to come back to reshoot stuff, and they're just paying him more, and he doesn't care. You know,
'Cause he
you
can
see
buy
him in
me plane.
interviews. Yeah, so you see him in interviews going how he's supporting the Indiana Jones, but in reality, he doesn't give a shit about this film at all. You know, he doesn't care. And the only reason why he's doing it is because of the money. He has literally said, if you look at some of the interviews, he will never do an Indiana Jones film without Spielberg, right? So you can imagine how much money they were offering him to make this one without Spielberg, and it was a lot. And it'll never be disclosed either.
Here you go, folks.
It was a lot.
Franco Walker, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Cash.
Because him and Spielberg
so
go a long
cynical,
way.
isn't it?
Him, George Lucas, and Spielberg, they go a long way.
Here you go, M. Duke. For an octogenarian, he looks good.
He does look good for his age.
80, yes.
Yeah, man.
What does an 80-year-old need with as much money as he probably made with this movie?
Don't know, but he doesn't care.
Maybe he's getting
In
divorced.
fact, I
don't
think
know.
somebody said his words were, "If they're going to pay me that much, if they're stupid enough to pay me that much, I'll do it." So
He's going to open his own Epstein Island.
probably.
Well, allegedly.
Right.
Well, he's got the aircraft to ship people over.
Yeah, are you going to fly in that thing? No.
No, because he crashes it.
Exactly.
Well, all that crap about I love the character, that's why I did it's rubbish. Absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
It's
he loves
all
the
about the
money.
money.
He only
mate.
likes Deckard.
Yeah, hasn't he always been about the money with like every single role he's ever
Yeah.
played? Didn't he hate playing Han Solo too?
Yeah, he hated Han Solo. He loved playing Deckard. No, actually, he hated playing Deckard because him and Ridley Scott had arguments on the set, didn't they?
Is Deckard a replicant?
Don't start that again.
No, question, is he a replicant?
No, obviously not. In my
According
opinion,
according to him, no. So, but according to
I agree
the
with him.
director,
It's not.
Deckard is a replicant.
It takes it out of the film if you agree that he's a replicant. The film makes no sense
He is a replicant.
if he is one. So
The question shouldn't be
Anyway.
answered.
exactly.
People in the chat were answering the question of what he's going to do with the money, and he's already worth $300 million.
It's for the
I really
kids.
need
It's
that
for the
extra
kids,
50.
man. Healthcare,
Yeah. He's got kids, isn't he?
funeral home.
Yeah,
vote.
300 million is not enough to raise kids on these days.
That's right.
It's going to be
get it. I
cryogenically
get it, man.
frozen, bionic.
Is Deckard a replicant? That is. Well, I think he's a replicant, but anyway.
He does come across as very sort of old manish, doesn't he? When you see him interviewed and stuff.
He's 80.
I know. You know what I mean. I know loads of 80 people that they're not like him. You know. Anyway. I'll
Okay,
stop.
so before we move
Yeah.
on, is it going to be a decent outing?
It's
do
going to
you
be
think?
okay. I think it's just going to be okay. It's not going to
Probably.
be
It's
It's going
bad.
to be
It's
a
not going to be
success. It's going to be a success.
Yeah, it's going to make
Yeah,
it's going to make
not
a
gonna be-
it'll make a bill. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
do we think it's
Yeah.
going to be okay? Probably.
I don't know until I see it, but I have my suspicions that it's not. But
Is
hey,
is Indiana Jones like really big in overseas markets?
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's huge. here.
Huge.
Huh.
Lord, do you think it'll be
How much?
okay?
I hope it will be. I have a real soft spot for Indiana Jones as a character and the film, well, the first 3 films. The less said about the others, the better.
Only one.
Do I think it's going to be okay? No. I think there's a problem when you go back and make loads of changes as well, which is that it's one thing to try and correct problems from the original script, but the number of times script corrections just create more problems and
That's
make
right.
it more messy in the end. That seems to be the way of things. So it might be less horrible, but it will probably be more messy as a result of those corrections.
Yeah.
And yeah, so probably not, is my answer.
I agree.
I hope they dial down the Waller Bridge.
I see what you did there.
Dudum-tsh. Yeah.
I'm here all week. Let's move on.
Buzz Lightyear.
Lots of sorry, boys and girls. Lots of Disney news. Anybody see
Yeah.
this?
5.
Oh, that
Yep, they're doing
smacks
another
of
one.
desperation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, this was Tim Allen, who is not flavour of the month at the moment in certain circles for being allegedly naughty, but bear in mind he wasn't in the was it Buzz Lightyear film, Lightyear,
Yeah.
Shite Year, which flopped because they had was it Chris Evans as the voice?
Yes. Yeah.
For some unbeknown reason.
Well, the reason for that was because it's a fictional story set within a fictional story, right? So it's not the actual Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Stories. It's the in-universe fiction about the character that created the toy. So it's a different character effectively, which is why they got Chris Evans in to do it.
That concept was not well articulated to audiences, though.
No, it wasn't. You're right. Totally right. But I
And
mean,
anyone
what more
still
can they
interested
do
in-
with this? Yeah, but what more can they do with this, though? I mean, they went from China. Another kid owns the toys now. So what are you going to do with the next one? I don't know. I mean, I didn't even see the last one. I stopped at 3, I think.
Will all the toys be made in China?
Probably.
Thinking man's joke.
And there won't be a black toy either, will there? So there you go.
Sheesh.
I'm sure he's laughing all the way to the bank.
But you know what, right? They're making a number 5. Do you know how much money this is going to cost to get Tom Hanks, to get all the... It's just going to... They're
Sorry,
just digging
Tom
themselves
Hanks
a
will be
grave,
laughing as
aren't
well.
they? They're
Look what
digging
they've-
themselves a grave.
Yeah, look what they've done with they probably see a grave ahead anyway, because it's no surprise to me that Bob Iger comes back and they go right back to a well-known well. Because what they've been pumping out is flop after flop for
Shite.
Pixar, like Turning
Yep.
Red. I really hated that. There are a couple other ones I don't even remember at all, and that speaks to what they are, I guess.
Let's not forget the driving force of Toy Story. They got rid of John Lasseter just for being kind of a touchy-feely type of arm round people type of person. So they got rid of him.
My president kisses people.
It's bad, isn't it? It's really bad. It's all because of this woke stuff. That's the reason why Disney's going down the pan. You know, they have to admit it. They have to stand up and say, "We're really sorry we've done this. We're not going to do any more woke stuff anymore. Thank you very much." And then leave the podium and let the audience, have a big argument about it. That's what they should do. But they're not going to do that. They're
I
not
don't
going
think
to do it.
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen Toy Story 4.
It was
But-
okay.
Nor have I. Nor have
Lots of
I.
people in chat seem
Yeah.
to really hate it, so I
Yeah.
I
don't
thought
know.
it was okay.
Apparently, Bo Peep is the leader or something like that.
Oh, that's surprise. But
They
you
should have left it
sort
with
of
3 though.
the thing with Toy Story, the thing that made Toy Story really successful, certainly through 1 and 2, and I think 3 as well, is that it wasn't. It never gave you the impression that it was only doing more Toy Story films just to make the money. They were always really quite heartfelt, and they did have nice, small scale, but really sort of wholesome and
Yeah.
warming stories to tell.
Yep.
And that's antithetical to making another Toy Story just because everyone recognizes the name, and so it's a good way to make a quick buck. Because if Toy Story doesn't have a really soulful narrative behind it, it's not really Toy Story, and there's no point doing it, and you'll just ruin the memory of the films that you used to have. So fine, if they've got a really lovely idea for what to do with these characters again, by all means go and do it. But if you're just doing it because everyone remembers Toy Story and so it will make a quick buck at the cinema, well, that's a surefire way to ruin the franchise.
Here you go, folks. Best Tess DeVore. I can't keep up with these names. The only way the next Toy Story will be any good is if all the characters are gender swapped and showing all the evil males how to do everything. Well, that's a given, isn't it?
Have they done a Toy Story yet with the toys have abandonment issues because the kids are all playing video games? I mean, I'd be surprised if they haven't touched that
Next
already.
one.
But
The next
yeah,
one
that could
will
well be the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the third one, right? I do believe it's the third one. The bit where they were going down, they were all holding hands when they were going into
They're
the
going down?
furnace. Remember that bit where they were going into the furnace?
That
and
was
they were all
really
scared?
sad.
That was sad.
That was so touching.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no. That's what I'm saying. The human connection between you and the screen is missing from a lot of films that are being released these days. And that's what we need. And you know who does that? It's the director that brings it. It's the director has the vision that wants you to connect with them. You know, the guy that was in charge of Pixar at the time, he knew exactly what he was doing. But this woke stuff is destroying films.
Well, the joke's on Tim Allen. He's going to voice him again, but they're going to
Yeah,
race swap
laughing,
him.
wasn't it? Yeah.
They're going to race swap him.
Oh dear. It's not good.
Disney are desperate, aren't they?
They are desperate.
They are.
Reniel in the chat. Avatars, please.
Agreed.
Yeah, but the clips are better. I know. You know I'm gonna
No,
talk-
they're not.
I don't ever want to say my channel, but I won't.
He said you should.
Is that better?
Ask the chat what they like.
We're here.
Unfortunately, we're here. Okay, let's move on.
Are we taking you away from your game?
Oh no, it
Wednesday.
hasn't started yet. There's another.
right, okay.
Yeah,
That's
there's plenty of time.
What I will compromise with the avatars. I will turn them on and off.
You can put them on the left, can't
Yeah,
you? And then they don't get in
yeah.
the way of the thing.
Yeah, they look good on the left.
Yeah, but not good for my OCD.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah, that's much better. I like
That
it.
is better. I like that better.
In your opinion.
Yes.
What hell is this then? What is this?
New shows have been advertised from Disney.
Cool.
We've all been waiting for Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures.
Yeah, it's not going to go well
Look
down
at that,
in
folks.
in China, is it? With the black kid in the middle, is it?
He'll be disappeared for the Chinese market, I'm sure.
Yeah. It looks rubbish.
Is that
It's
Yoda
absolute
or
rubbish.
Grogu
No,
on the...
that looks like the blue thing in one of those Disney films. What is it called? The one with that. What was that cartoon with the blue alien? In
Avatar.
Hawaii?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stick. Yeah, it looks like a bit.
Do you think diversity done well, though?
No, purple hair, red hair, black kid.
Where's the white male?
That's what I'm saying. It's rubbish. So why would you watch this? Why would anyone?
What is the white person standing there? They don't count because they're Irish?
I don't. It's red hair, isn't it? Red hair,
I thought that was
person.
They're
Was that a
white.
guy
I
or was
thought
that a
was
girl?
I thought that was a they them.
Who knows? Who cares?
You know, the interesting thing is when I look at this, nothing bothers me at all. I don't know.
I just think it's entirely unnecessary. I mean, like, who here didn't grow up watching Star Wars from when they were a kid and fall in love with it as a kid watching actual Star Wars? I mean, I get the point about like content saturation, and of course you want to try and narrow down on specific audiences, but surely one of the great things about Star Wars is that Star Wars is so massively successful because it didn't need to do that to begin with.
Well, it
Like,
used to
I
be.
would like them to like get rid of all of these side projects and put the combined budget into writing a mainline film that kids will like and adults will like, and hooray, Star Wars is back again. But this just looks very,
I've
very
got
cringy.
the director to direct it. Roundhead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
It's
did a good
just a
job.
big
Oh,
waste of
Roundhead.
money. That's a big waste of money. It's a big waste of time. Why do it? But they have done it, so good luck to them.
Will it see the light of day, though?
Who cares?
Probably.
It's just,
Probably.
it's just soul destroying for any genuine Star Wars fan.
Didn't they not learn from the Star Wars holiday special?
Okay, it's just all doom and gloom. How did it ever get to this? Should we move on?
Moving on. Oh, God.
Okay,
More stuff.
so rumor has it, Walt Disney executives see Star Wars. Get this right. They see Star Wars as a damage brand.
course it
Allegedly,
is.
they have plans involving. Get this, folks. We've waited for this. Rey and Baby Yoda.
I mean, in the first place, if the brand is
What?
damaged, that is not the way to fix it. In the second place,
No.
that sounds like bullshit. I mean, where did this rumor come from?
Is bounding into comics like are they right often?
Are
Well, I
they the
think they-
Doomcock of the
Well,
comic
they
world?
do sometimes source their rumors from YouTubers, so take it
you
that
can't.
way. Well.
Baby Yoda and Rey. That's an interesting duo there because it's like they're honestly, objectively, probably their biggest success since the purchase is the introduction of Baby Yoda, and then one of their biggest failures is Rey. So it's like, what are you going to do? Just make some mid-film?
Yeah, but she's stunning and brave, though, isn't she?
She
Would
is
Baby
at least
Yoda-
that. Yeah,
Baby Yoda wouldn't be a Baby Yoda in Rey's
He's not a baby
timeline.
anyway.
that's true.
In the show, he's not a baby. He's a grown. He's an adult. but he just looks like a baby.
Well, right, and it's not even Yoda, right? It's just
No, it's not
Grogu.
Yoda.
Right?
It's
yeah.
Grogu.
Grogu.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be about 50, isn't he? In Earth years.
I don't get that relationship between him and Mandalorian though. It's a bit weird. Anyway, Star Wars.
You think it's sexual?
It is now.
Is that the reason why he gets the baby Yoda sit on his lap?
He sits on his helmet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I looked up the article. They did get it from a YouTuber because,
Right.
you know.
Because it was a
Oh,
slow
that'll be
news
Mike
day.
Zero then, won't it? Mike
Actually,
Zero.
it's not Mike Zero. It's someone I've never heard of. WDW Pro, apparently.
WD-40.
Yes. I'm going to look this person up. WDW Pro. This person has 5,000 subscribers.
Oh, I must be right then.
Yeah.
Okay, in the chat, MC, Mr. Brown Alliance, sponsored by Disney Plus. I will
Indeed.
say, if they want to throw some money my way, I would gladly take it off their hands.
They
Disney
really need
Plus
to get
supplements all of our income a little bit. Thanks.
They really need to get their act in order, Disney. Otherwise, they're just gonna die, in my opinion.
Here you go. For the Brits, I think this is a thinking man's joke. Rail fix it. That's for the Brits. A little bit dark, but okay. Does anybody know why? Do they think it's going to make them money?
Well,
mean-
what are they going to do? A TV show?
Exactly. No,
it's
they
not
know.
happening.
Film,
It's,
innit?
it's complete horseshit. This
Yeah,
guy
of
was
course
it
reading
is.
the article now. This
it's the
guy has said
internet,
that R2D2 is going to be back, Chewbacca will be back, Rey will be back, Baby Yoda will be back.
Han Solo will be
It's
back.
like all you have to
Ghost.
do. Apparently, you can just pull something out of your ass and then throw it on a piece of paper and then submit it to Bounding into Comics, and it becomes news. That's it's not if
Because it
this happens.
spreads 110,000 views on that tweet.
Wow.
Wow. Here you go, M Duke in the chat. If D Plus sponsored me, that is, it'd be Mrs. Brown. And
So bigger channels take rumors that small channels made up, and then they blow them up to big rumors.
They do it all the time.
It's
They do
a
it all the time.
virtuous cycle.
Very interesting.
welcome everybody to the They Them Brown Alliance.
They do it all the time, though. I
getting
mean,
silly
especially with Doctor Who. Anyone that puts rubbish out of Doctor Who, it's in a newspaper. It's ridiculous. You know, so all the time.
We'll leave the last comment to Bess Tess Devore. Finn has to be back. Someone needs to be there to scream, Ray!
Like with his jaw unhinged like a snake or something.
Finn was a squandered him, didn't they?
Finn was going to be a Jedi, and
Yeah,
then
squandered him.
KK derailed it.
Yeah.
If this does happen, I will eat a hat live on stream. The hat might be a cake, but
Face
I will.
reveal. Face reveal.
That it'd be his
Eating a
avatar
hat.
eating the cake, wouldn't it? It'd be his cartoon
Yes.
avatar.
Okay, so we'll move on. So, in a cinema near you soon.
God, what is this?
Rumor has it Disney Plus to license exclusive series to other streaming services in order to make money.
And I'm assuming this rumor came from the grandmother of the person who wrote the article.
Yes.
During
I kind of get the feeling this
dementia bout.
might be true, though.
This would be hilarious because Marvel would have come full circle because in the 90s, this is what they did. And this is why all those properties got sold
Yeah.
to other studios.
Yeah.
And then they get purchased up. Disney would buy all of their properties back and then license them out. This sounds stupid. So just as a rumor, there's no way this can be true, right?
It's a
It's a
rumor.
Doomcock
internet,
rumor. This
though?
one came from Doomcock. It's not going to happen.
Oh, it's true, then.
I just found the article. It's a rumor. It's a Doomcock rumor.
It's a Doomcock rumor.
Yeah,
Take it
that-
with a pinch of salt.
Well,
he says.
Tulsa King, that recently has been on Paramount Plus, was licensed out to terrestrial TV.
Yeah, it's on. Is it on Channel 4?
It
Is
was
it
on
5?
Channel. Yeah, it was on Channel 5 in the UK, and I think it was on terrestrial in New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
So,
But we were there
make of it
before.
what you will, yeah.
Oh, Gary is talking about Tulsa King now. He's saying it's the best thing. He's a bit late, isn't he? We said that like months ago. Even last year, we were saying.
I liked it before you did.
Exactly.
Hipster.
Welcome to the hipster channel. Okay. Maybe they would probably release certain titles maybe after a certain time.
I hate that character,
perhaps.
Scarlet Witch. Hate her.
Not good. Okay. We'll move on.
Oh, 40 Towers.
Here you go, Probby. This week was announced that the 1970s sitcom Fawlty Towers will be coming back for a modern reboot starring John Cleese.
Pretty sure that Ben's got a lot to
It's-
say about this.
If it's
Sorry,
got
go
no Prunella Scales, if it's got no Connie Booth. Now, Connie Booth, who co-wrote it with John Cleese, is a vital ingredient. And I don't believe she's involved, as far as I know.
No.
Yeah, look, I know John Cleese is paying a lot of alimony.
That's what it'll be.
I just think this is what it's about. Yes, he's probably going to use it as a swipe at cancel culture, but is Basil Fawlty really the right character to use for that? Because
Isn't he teaming up with a famous producer to do this?
Yes.
I don't
Anybody
know.
see the interview on GB News?
No.
Apparently, I think it was his daughter who apparently she's wrote stuff with John Cleese for about 17 years. And I think they were having a meal with this famous producer who I don't know who it is. And I think the hypothetically they were talking about it and how would you bring it back, and then it kind of evolved
Snowballed
into
from
something
there, yeah.
else. And apparently it is going to be based in the Caribbean, and he's going to be a
What?
owner of an hotel in the Caribbean where rich people visit.
Thing is, though, he was young when he did this show. He was very physical. It had
Yes.
very physical humor in it. He's what? How old is he now? In his
95
80s?
billion years old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, how is he going to be that physical if he's that old? It's really
also,
it's really not going to work.
when he was doing Basil Fawlty, he was going through a lot of mental health issues at the time, which is the core of the genius of the character. Was he was putting so much into it that he actually lost his mind, and he's excised that by going through serious amounts of long-term therapy. He wrote books about it with his therapist. He's exorcised Basil Fawlty. He had to in order to be able to survive and move forward. And I don't know if he can really embody that role anymore.
I don't think
certainly,
he
as
can.
you say, he's not as
too
physical. And I just don't think a lot of older comedians when they get older, they are less funny. I mean, they're still charming and witty, but they don't have
I'd
the
agree with
same beat. They're not as sharp.
Energy.
And also, is it?
used
I
to
mean,
be.
I've got a strange feeling that it's not going to have a laughter track. It's just going to be like, I don't know, like a Curb Your Enthusiasm, whatever it is. It's going to be that kind of humor. But the thing is, though, it's never going to be like the original. Because I remember the scene where he starts beating his car because his car couldn't work. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious. And
yeah,
that
that
humor is completely different to the humor they have now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know how they're going to do it. But
Here you go, Tim. I like saying this, Hannah. Rob Reiner is producing. Who is
of
it? Rob
course.
Reiner. Wow.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Americans are desperate for stuff anyway. So
Apparently, Cleese said, "No way is it going to be on the BBC."
I don't blame him. And also, everybody remembers that when it was first released, the series, it was never kept to a time zone. So one episode is 20 minutes long, another episode is 30. Do you know what I mean? It drove the BBC crazy. So I don't know if it's going to have that kind of. Are they going to just give him every leeway that he wants possible? Because that's what the BBC did.
Well,
and he forced him to do
Yeah,
it.
he was quite generous towards the BBC at the time when he made, because they just said, "Just do what you want."
Yeah, yeah.
because that was the
That's gonna be interesting.
BBC back then, whereas now,
But humor in sitcoms, especially American sitcoms, have changed, and I don't find them funny anymore. The ones that are out now, I've seen a couple of episodes, and
no.
I just don't find them. They're kind of like intelligent humor, which goes way over my head because I'm not that intelligent. So, you know what I mean? I just think it's a very different landscape today than it was in the 70s, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. It'd be interesting to see what he does with it. But anyway, shall we move on? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
oh.
just thought I'd put this in. Idris Elba rejects identity politics, reveals he no longer refers himself as a specific black actor. I don't want to be the first black actor. I'm the first Idris, which is fair enough.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with him. Same thing with somebody got in trouble by putting a video out with Morgan Freeman when they were talking about Black History Month. Do you see that one? I can't remember who got in trouble.
That's an older video, right?
Sorry, yes, an old video. Yeah. And he's basically saying the same thing as Idris is saying. You know, it's you know, why don't we refer to everybody as their names? Why are we saying that it's Black History? Why are we saying, you know, why is he not for referring to the person that was interviewing him as a Jewish presenter? It's ridiculous. I actually agree with it, to tell you the truth. Also, have you not seen the trailer for Luther, Ian?
Not yet.
It's come
Is it
out.
good?
Yeah, well, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
I'd go
can't
and
wait
see
for
it.
that. I think it's out in. Is it next month or is it
Yeah.
May?
It's in the
Being with them.
cinema, and then it's going to be on Netflix
Yeah, I'm
in
going to watch
March,
it.
I
or something,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luther was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's quite good what he said, but bearing in mind this is the guy who went to the World Economic Forum to pick an award up for something.
What award? What was it for?
No idea.
He's not the first person to say that. Like, this dates back to Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
There's a video of him that's really fantastic. It's only a few minutes long, but he says the exact same thing very eloquently, though.
It's the riots one, isn't it, from the 60, 68?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And he complains that the journalists are always asking about his experience as a black man, what his opinion as the riots are, and he goes on a very long and eloquent speech about how he's a person and an actor and an artist and all the rest of that. It's well worth seeing. I wouldn't hold the WEF thing against Idris Elba particularly. I don't think he really cares. WEF is a fashionable organisation that likes to be at the top of fashion, and one way to do that is to get high-profile actors on board. Well, no, but you're offered a gong by people who will also probably pay you with that award. Why wouldn't you turn up?
Exactly.
It's
Okay,
not.
fair enough.
He's
All
not
right,
exactly
fair
going to be
enough.
very aware of
All
what
right,
they
I'll take
do.
that back.
And yeah, it's the only sort of qualifier I'd have with this statement. I agree with it. Obviously, I mean, it's nice. It would be nice if more people started to move away from sort of the racialization of and categories of actors. My only qualification is how much of Idris Elba's career was owed to him, like making use of that to advance his career. Like, how many roles were given to him because they wanted the quote-unquote black actor to play them? How many quotas did he fill before he became big enough to say, I'm not doing quota stuff anymore? So it's better late than never, I suppose, but it would have been nicer. Well, no, I just don't know if many like up and coming younger black actors would even be able to do this if they swear off and they've not got a profile. Have they outed themselves as being unfashionable and difficult, and will they ever even be given the roles that would get them to the position to be independent anymore? I don't know, but
he is in that position now. He can say he can. I mean, I totally agree with him. And as far as again actors' gigs are concerned, I mean, if you go back 20 years, even 10 years, black actors were only getting those roles. So he had no choice. He wants to act. Mm-hmm. So he had to do it. And now he's in a position to say what he wants to say. And I agree. I'll tell you, I've never ever agreed with things like Black History Month or anything that divides us as human beings. I've never been for that at all. So, and I agree with him.
Yeah, why do you need to celebrate something on a certain month?
Yeah, they don't have Jewish
day.
month. They don't have Jewish month. They don't have White Man month, do they?
No, they won't have that. Here you go, MC. Idris in The Wire was amazing.
He was.
He's just a fantastic actor.
He is.
Mm-hmm. So great in Luthor. I just love.
He's really brilliant in Luthor.
Absolutely,
he's a really great actor.
Luthor.
Yeah.
All I'll say is everybody check out Luthor with Idris Elba. You've probably got enough time to watch is it 5 seasons?
I think 5 seasons, but it's basically a cop horror
Yeah.
TV show. So if you watch it, it's
So
quite
if you're
good.
quick, you could probably watch them before the movie comes out in a couple of months,
Yeah.
which I will. See, here you go. MC in the chats. Luther is also amazing. Season 3 of Luther. Fuck. Incredible. Okay, shall we move on from Idris Elba?
Brilliant.
John Williams was 91 this week.
Fantastic.
So I just thought I'd pop this in.
I have 100% respect for this man. Keeps out the limelight, does his business, moves on, goes into another film. I don't think any of his soundtracks are bad at all. I think they're all really, really great scores. Definitely. I don't know if people agree with me, but hey.
No, I agree with you. I think like the worst John Williams score is still superior to like 90% of everyone else's. So he's just brilliant.
Yeah.
What an influence,
He is. The reason why I like him so much is because you hear his music, but you don't hear about his politics. You don't hear about where he lives. You don't hear about he has kids. Do you know what I mean? He stays out of the limelight. He had to say. But anyway, he stays out of the limelight, and he's very humble. And I think he's such an amazing. Well, as far as I can tell, the little that I know of him, I have total respect for him.
Here you go. Best score he ever wrote was Ray's theme.
Actually, it's very good.
Yeah.
That thing's very good. Yeah.
I'm so impressed with his ability to always pump out iconic sounding scores. Like, the last one was still probably 20 years ago, but even then, when it was Harry Potter and he wrote the theme for that, it's just a brilliant score. You can hum it in your head and get it stuck in your head.
Never done a Bond film though.
I think the thing that John Williams has that the other composers doesn't have is that when he watches the film for the first time, he connects to it emotionally, right? And he uses his chords and the way he constructs music to actually connect to the audience emotionally. That's why he's better than most, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The other composers that have that is John Barry and also Jerry Goldsmith. They have that as well. But the other composers, I don't know. I don't think they're as good as those three. James Horn has got it, yeah.
Johnny Lawrence's mum, I've seen him at the Hollywood Bowl at least 3 times. So much fun. Wow.
I saw him 5 times. I just think he's brilliant. The audience just went crazy when he played the Imperial March. They just stood up on their feet and were cheering, and they must have cheered for like a minute or so. Do you know what I mean? That's how much his music has touched people.
Here you go. Hostman at Mr. Brown Alliance says me. Fun fact, Williams did the score for a great John Wayne Western called The Cowboys.
The Cowboys, yeah, and a brilliant soundtrack. I think I've got that somewhere.
I do like John Wayne cowboy films. Okay. He's not retired though, so obviously we've got the new indie film.
Yeah.
It's still, as I said, he's still not done a Bond.
No, he actually said he wants to do it. Yeah.
Perhaps he'll be doing the next one if they
get their heads out of their arse. Yeah.
Yeah. But they killed him, so I'm not interested. Anyway, shall we? So, happy birthday, John Williams, 91. Can you believe it?
Barbara Broccoli, get Spielberg to direct next Bond film and get John Williams to do the music.
Well, they won't do that. You know why? Because
I know they won't. I know they won't. Yeah. Oh, God. What is this?
Go fuck yourself, honestly.
What is he wearing? What the hell's that all about? Is that
it's a David Bowie knockoff, and it's been done to death. It's been done before. Lee Bowery did it in the 80s and 90s. It's nothing new. It's real pick-me vibes. It's really quite tragic. I'm thinking
he didn't win anything, did he?
Problems.
He didn't win anything, did he? Did he win anything?
Oh, really? He's not the king of the non-binary whatevers.
He didn't win. He didn't win anything. As far I looked on the awards, and he didn't win. He was so blasé about it, and he didn't win anything. He
really needs to empty his suit of farts. He's got a lot of farts trapped in there.
He looks like he got stretched out in Photoshop.
Yeah. I thought it was a joke at first.
I identify as a balloon animal.
Did you see how he walked on the red carpet? It looked
No,
hilarious.
Like he wasn't comfortable at all.
It looked
But they made noises like.
But you know
As he
what,
minced
right?
along the red
Everybody that was there must have thought, what a
twat.
fucking twat.
So what an asshole.
Yeah,
It looks
they
like
must
an
have done.
uncooked chicken covered in tar. God. But then if he puts his legs together and goes upside down, he looks like a butt plug, which is probably more accurate.
If you
Two
squint,
butt
he
plugs.
looks like a Rorschach.
Someone did a Photoshop of his head on a black shiny butt plug, and it looked absolutely spot on.
But you know,
I'll
how's
have
he
to
supposed to
dig that
sit
out.
down in that? How's he supposed to sit down?
You
in
walk sideways.
He's booked 4 seats side by side, obviously.
that? What a.
The arms removed.
But if you compare it with the one that Bowie wore, it's the
Yeah.
declining standards of design. It's at least Bowie's was kind of artistically imaginative and daring. This is just inflated bin bags. So not only has it been done before, but it's been done infinitely better before.
Don't like him at all.
Is he trying to make out that he's like a dark angel or something?
He's trying to make out he's an idiot. That's all.
Dude, just stand in front of the mirror and be like, yep, this isn't cringe at all. I'm fucking doing this. Like, wow. I just, how did no one have anything to pop it with, like a pen or something?
Don't know. It's the worst thing since that Bond film theme he sang. It really is.
MC,
Idiot.
he's a knob.
Of course he is.
It would have been fun just to go up to that and just stick a pin in it, see if he flies off.
Someone actually did, the famous Banksy balloon girl picture. Someone did that, but it's Sam Smith as the balloon, which is quite cool.
He goes, Z3PO, if he closes his legs and puts his arms down, he looks like an upside down spade.
Looking upside down.
Okay. Right, shall we move on from this?
Yeah, I put the link to the butt plug Sam Smith picture.
Here you go,
on Twitter.
folks.
It's hilarious.
There you go.
Spend your Sunday evening here.
I'm so glad that's not an Amazon link.
Not yet. Okay, this next one, be warned, folks. We'll just briefly talk about this one if I've got my running order correctly. Did anybody see this?
What's this?
Yeah, this is from 2014.
Lady Gaga.
This has resurfaced then, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's still disgusting, but
It was trending yesterday, was it?
What is it?
well, it is that girl standing up, vomiting into Lady Gaga's mouth, like making herself vomit into her
Green
mouth
paint.
while she's attempting to play drums, but not actually,
Why?
because it's edgy.
It's not edgy. It's stupid.
Yes,
Oh well.
Yes. Okay, right.
sure is.
We'll move on.
I have
from
a
that.
story about. No, I have a story about this actually.
Okay.
I used to work for a fashion designer who did a white dress. Her team borrowed the dress for a photo shoot. Well, he was told it's for a photo shoot, and it turned out it was for a performance video where the dress was tied up, ripped, cut, and then vomited on. So he never got that dress back, and he never got paid for
What?
it. These are these sort of people that you're dealing with. Yeah, absolutely disgusting.
Okay.
So probably some other designers experienced the same problem with this. Yeah, it's gross.
I just don't get it. And I like Lady Gaga as well.
I don't get it at all.
I don't like her at all.
Okay. Somebody posted this on the twats. So I just thought I'd ask the question. What was the one VHS tape you played more than anything else? And we'll throw this to the
Animal
chat.
Olympics.
So,
Animal Olympics. I love that cartoon.
Ian, your number one VHS that you used to go to all the time?
I think it was Close Encounters. When I got that, when I got the, it was Betamax. I had Betamax. I didn't have VHS, so I used to play that a lot. Okay.
I think mine was Star Trek 2 or 3, probably Star Trek 2.
VHS.
In the chat, sorry, chat moved up then. Here you go. not Brian, Busty Brenda's bollock pants. Here you go. I'm not going to read them, but you can.
Jesus.
Right on, Z.
Quality.
Shrek.
Shrek.
God, I remember
yeah.
Electric Blue. Jesus.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mine is either RoboCop 2.
Oh.
No, it's either RoboCop 2. Yeah, part 2. I know, it's weird. RoboCop 2, Dumb and Dumber,
Oh,
Wow.
that's fun.
or the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movie.
Wow, that's got to show how young you are.
87, baby.
Wow.
I'll be 36 in like 2 weeks.
Wow, you're lucky.
God, now
That's
you
all I
make
can
me
say.
feel really
Here you
old.
go. Atom Gray. My copy of Spinal Tap actually stretched so badly it broke. Wow.
You just get really upset when you see the line come down.
Right
on
up
the
to
Yeah,
Yes.
right on, dude.
Yes.
Right on,
Yeah,
Dad.
so upset. It's like the line. Oh no, the tape's got a glitch in it. Ugh. So annoyed.
38 seconds of fast time. The original. I don't know what that is. Here you go.
That's
I know that. I know that reference.
Blues Brothers.
I was
Yeah, I
going to
love
play that
Blues
the other
Brothers.
day.
Channel favorite.
It's on
That's
Netflix.
great.
Blues Brothers.
Is it?
Great film.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I love it.
Is Princess Leia in that?
She's in it. Yeah, Carrie Fisher's in it.
Yes.
Here you go. Channel favorite. Velma Dinklage. VHS head cleaner.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the pain.
Lord, do you have a VHS player?
Do I have one now? No.
Do you know what VHS is?
I faintly remember VHS. Faintly. I'm trying to think if it probably would have been, it might have been Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Or Star Wars.
Do you know
or
what the
Robot
tab is?
Wars. Do I know what the
Do you know
tab?
what the tab is?
Is that the
Outside.
little?
Not
Isn't there
actually.
something up the top right corner or something that there's
No,
a square
left.
that you can't
Yeah,
copy
the
over?
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you pull it off, then you can't record over it. If
Pull
you,
it
Right.
off.
if you leave it on, you can record on it. Yeah. So
Yeah, I used to rent movies when I was a kid, bring them home and record them, make copies
Yeah,
of them. I had
same
two.
here.
I had two.
Same
I
here.
had two VCRs set up.
Yeah.
and,
but they put a bug in it, so you couldn't.
Yeah.
do
they
it
did,
anymore.
but you
From
could
Aliens
just put a
onwards.
piece of tape over it, and it
No,
worked.
no. They had a bug that had the pulse signal that went
Yeah,
through the
there's soft-
film. So
yeah.
Oh,
so
no
you,
shit.
you
But
couldn't.
then you would have to
couldn't tape
buy.
it.
You'd have to buy like a
decoder.
de-encoder between the
Yeah.
videos. to
Oh,
make it
yeah,
work
yeah.
again. But
Yeah.
I was renting old horror movies and doing
Yeah, it was
that,
all
so they
the,
didn't have that on them.
yeah, I remember all the Shocker. You know the zombie films and all that.
The reason why
nasties.
they
I'm going to
introduced
change
Very
change my
much.
answer. It's actually it would be Blue Planet. David Attenborough's Blue Planet would be the most reused.
the
one, I
reason
think.
why they introduced
Oh, well,
the
it
bug
would be.
in the films
Titanic
was
on two
because
tapes,
people were
wow.
getting clever. They were literally renting it from the video store, unscrewing their VHSs and swapping the tapes so that you would give them back your recording and you would get the real thing
Yeah.
in your VHS.
Wow.
So
Here you go.
then that's when I started
Atom Grey. It was called Macrovision. It was, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I remember having to rent these and being able to going to the movie store to rent the movie that just came out, and they would have 20 copies on the wall, and you were excited and you'd run up, but the actual tape would be behind the
Yes.
cover, and you'd run up and you'd see that they were all rented already.
yeah.
Here you go, folks. Hey, would you blow me? Broke the pause button on my player when I borrowed Beth Bang's
Baloney.
director's cut. BBBDC. That was. I think that's a world of hurt, isn't it? When the pause button goes. Okay. Okay. Shall we? I'm glad somebody enjoyed that joke. Shall we move on? I'm here all week, by the way.
For innocent days.
Okay, so
Picard.
yeah, this is out this week. I think is it Thursday?
Not going to be
Kicking
watching
off
it.
a little bit, isn't it? On
A lot of people saying it's
certain
really
channels.
good. But I will watch it in my own time.
I think I'm going to watch it. Well, I know I'm going to watch it.
I don't know. Cullen is saying it's really good, and I'm pretty sure that Gary's going to say it's pretty good after he's watched his first 4. Pretty sure people are going to say it's pretty, but I don't care because this is not, in my opinion, Star Trek. It's not even in the same timeline as the Star Trek that I love. So I'll see it in the next 5 years. Maybe I'll catch up with it. So there you go.
I don't think Doomcock's going to be watching it, although he said he would watch the first episode because obviously he has to review.
He has to make money as well.
Yeah. Lord, you going to be watching this?
Maybe if I have time. I don't really care anymore. The best I think this one can do is to sort of slightly shamefacedly apologize for the first season, and it will be
exactly what they're doing.
it won't be connected to anything else. It won't lead anywhere. It will just be relatively lazy fan service with an expensive set. Although it won't be that expensive because it'll be really dark, so you can't see anything. It might be nice, I suppose, but it's not gonna be groundbreaking. It's not gonna go anywhere story wise. Yeah, if I have the time, I might put it on, but I'm not gonna look for it.
I kind of get the feeling that yes, it will be entertaining, and I'm probably going to enjoy it, but it pains me to say Doomcock is right though about the they've had what 5 series of, or is it 4 of Discovery?
5 is coming.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And they've had 2 of Picard, and yet they expect us to come lapping it up, and
I'd probably watch this if the showrunners came out and stand on a thing with all the press and said, we apologize for the last 2 seasons of Picard. It was absolute shit. Please watch this. Then I'll watch it. We're not getting an apology. We're getting this as an apology. No, I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
I just get the feeling that because Kurtzman didn't want anything to do with it because he was busy with something else. Akiva Goldsman was busy doing Strange New Worlds. Terry Matalis, he was just playing. He was just obviously just given the last season series, so he was just playing the cards he was given. But luckily, I think for Star Trek fans, it was given to somebody who loved Star Trek. So maybe if it was given to somebody else, we wouldn't be in this position now where we're kind of semi-looking forward to it, perhaps. But it will be bittersweet, I think.
I would like to class myself as a true fan of Star Trek. I would
Same
not
here.
race my presence with this nonsense until I am ready, which will probably be in the next 5 years, maybe even 3. But the thing is that, as I said, right, they've just destroyed Star Trek. This is not even on the same timeline as the original Star Trek. So kiss my bum is all I can say.
I know. Shame. Probably you're going to be watching it?
Nope. Not interested. I'm so bored.
That's it.
Lord said he might. Movie. Are you a Star Trek fan?
All my shits have been given something else, so I have none for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it looks like I'm the only one who's going to be watching it.
I love
Watch
you, Data.
later.
Yeah.
I love you, Data.
Data. What a load of bollocks.
This is what happens when Patrick Stewart decides to, instead of just acting, fucking about writing scripts and sticking his big fat fucking oar into it.
He looks really old, and he just looks. He talks old, and he just
Okay.
why are they doing this?
Okay. So as I said, folks, Picard season 3. Some channels are saying it's a love letter to Next Generation. It will be bittersweet. Fuck knows why they just didn't give us it first season. But anyway, there you go. So, shall we move on?
Move along.
And finally, some spaceship porn coming up, folks.
Ooh, that is
Beautiful
awesome.
Eagles. Look at those.
A little bit of
Wow.
Jerry Anderson pornography for us, folks.
Who owns that then?
I don't know, but they're very lucky.
Wow, a lot of room in his living room, isn't it? Look at the size of
I was just trying to work out the scale of that that lab eagle. I think it's the smaller one's a 72, so 48. It's probably a 1/12th, 1/24th scale, maybe. It's big.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Did he build that himself, or was it a kit or something? Or what?
That would have been a custom build, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because the plans are freely available. It's just a question of kind of upscaling. It's if you've got the CAD plans as well, it'd be in the equipment.
Where's he going to put it though? He's just going to leave it on that table. What's he going to do? Does it break into pieces so he can put it away or something? I don't know.
I would imagine, yes. I don't know, but for me, I love the USS Enterprise, the refit, just so fantastic. But
Yeah.
Eagle Transporter from Space, 1999, just wow. My favourite ship, I think, just brilliant. Anything Jerry Anderson,
lovely
as we
ship.
said before, Jerry Anderson. It was such a shame Jerry Anderson never quite made it in the big time, and he deserved it, to be fair. Don't you think, guys?
Yeah, he deserved it, but he didn't get it though. So, yeah.
Okay, I think at some point we're going to do a Jerry Anderson show at some point. Anyway, okay. So there you go, folks. The Eagle Transporter from Space, 1999. So iconic to so many people. Such a great spacecraft. So, okay. So I think that is it. Please consider donating to the channel. The links are in the description or pinned message. A few of you have this evening, so I appreciate that. So I think that is it. So, chat, you are wonderful. Always bring in your A game. Always great to have your interactions. So, many thanks for that. And we'll see you next time. So, I will thank the guests in order of my screen from the top. Problem being.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. The boy wonder
bed.
himself. The Lord.
I said thank you. What do you want?
Cheers, Lord. Thank you, my friend.
Always a pleasure, and I think I actually am going back to bed.
Yes.
I know.
We look forward to the Avatar video.
Oh, mate.
Are we still okay for it? Is it still
I think so.
blocked yet? Yeah.
No, not yet. All
Is it
good.
still uploading or is it gone?
No, it's uploaded. The copyright check's done. It seems all to be good.
Wow. So hopefully tomorrow for that, yes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers, toes,
Old
eyes.
Blue Boy himself, Movie Cynic. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, guys.
Enjoy the, is it football or soccer? Soccer.
Ha 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 ha. It's the Super Bowl, baby.
Super Bowl, just like the World Series when they don't fight the world. Anyway,
And last but by no means least, it's the Mega Geek himself. Cheers, Ian.
no worries, guys. No worries.
I don't know when we're going to be back, folks. I'm hoping to do a Picard review, season 1. I'll probably make Ian watch it
Oh no. Yeah.
by gunpoint. I will make him watch it. So I think that's probably going to be, if I can get the slides produced quickly enough, perhaps Thursday or Friday. We're going to try and do a film next week, so that'll be Saturday. So I think that is it. So I will say have a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Ta-ta.
Bye.
Good night.